Morning, y'all, morning. I just set my black ass back down again. Got spell side, stop carrying an umbrella. Goddamn right. When you a real G out here, too, you go from having an umbrella. Oh my God, what's going on? Is this a storm? To put a few holes in your umbrella. You know, flexing a little bit, I got the shitty umbrella out here. I'm ready for the shitstorm. And then you just out here all day. Chest out, titty swinging, ready for the shit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. If it's a Monday morning, you already know the forecast. It's gonna be a shitstorm. I'm your host, Arius Bookman, King of America, Father of Monsters, King of the Brood, Lord of the Underworld. And I'm here to rain on your fucking parade. Those are only a few of my epithets. I'm pretty sure I have a nice show planned out for y'all today, man. Beforehand, I was gonna do the most. I was gonna do the absolute most. And not the absolute most in a way that's good for everyone. The absolute most in a way that puts too much work on me. So, reality gave me an L. It's cool. Had to catch it. It's cool. So, I just rerouted that shit, enjoyed my vacation, and kept it fucking moving. Society Ejects in the building. Misha X in the building. Good to see y'all this morning. I hope you're ready for the fucking storm. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna let you get the intro, because I cannot deprive you. Really, it's just for me. I really love that shit. I'm gonna hit the intro real quick, then I'm gonna start talking some of my shit for you. Alright? Check it out, check it out, check it out. Hell yeah, man. When you let shit unfold, stuff just comes together. It's perfect. I'm telling you, this world is perfect. I'm telling you, it's perfect. Yeah, there's suffering, but there's joy. See, no one complains about joy. Oh my God, look at this suffering. This is terrible. Everything's suffering. Yeah, but it gets the opportunity for joy, don't it? Don't it? Motherfuckers so hype on winning. We'll lose every now and then, man. It's all right. Like look. I like to use open source software for all my shit. So all the software I use to produce all this stuff is free. Everything. The thing about open source software is that, you know, like if they update the shit, who am I gonna complain to? You know, it's free. They doing all this shit for free, so they have a little update. So my video editing software, Ryan Moore out here, triple umbrella. I see you, sir. I see you. Welcome to the show. So my video editing software, right? I use a program called Kdenlive. Operating system is Linux. Anyways, continuing. They recently upgraded the program. So I'm thinking, okay, let me hit the update real quick. Let me get the, you know, hit the little click the buttons and shit, right? Get the update. And they add a new feature to the video rendering process where you can shift the video quality. And you're thinking, hey, you know, that's a good fucking thing, man. You want to be able to change your video quality from 0 to 100%. But for some reason, the default setting was at 3%. I don't even know where to go fucking change it. I have to change it manually every time. And so what happened is I edited all my video. I edited all my video for the show this week, which isn't a problem because I already had segments set up. Like I'm already like maybe 2 episodes ahead of myself. Anyways, I set up everything I was planning to, do the most. Well, I'm gonna do the most this week. I'm gonna do it. And all my video recorded at 3% quality. And I was like, and so I go to do the post-production and everything's fucking blurred and ridiculous. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just spent a few hours putting that together. What the fuck just happened? So confused and lost. I was just like, fuck it. And went on vacation. I was like, fuck it. And went on vacation. As a matter of fact, the vacation was great. The vacation was great. Me and my old lady went to the north side of town. So we live on the south side of town. Just going to the north side of town is nice. It's plush, okay? Well, more plush than our shit. What we did was, the highlight of the trip really is we went river tubing. 4 hours on the tube, 4 hours on the river, right? That's the good shit. You should easily have a set segment where you speak on your L's. Yo, that might be, God, that'd be the longest segment ever. I'd have the most of those segments. I never stop catching these fucking L's. Yo, I can put the doc up here so I can see that shit and I can just reply on that side. Boom. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Anyway, might catch another L with the chat. No, they're gonna chat. They're gonna chat. Oh, Dawson. What's going on, sir? Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. All right. I promise you I'm gonna get the spirit spotlight, but I want to talk about this real quick. So yeah, the highlight of our trip was river tubing. Down here they got the Chattahoochee River, goes right through. We'll go around the city more so. The southern side of it's fucked up, polluted, but the top side, north side of town, that's just nice. It's because it's pristine, you know. Anyways, so yeah, it's 4 hours on the tube. They have the 2 hour and 4 hour option. Obviously, we took the 4 hour vacation. And, you know, we took the cooler. We got three little loops. We got the cooler. We got a little bit of smoke. You know, they had the playlist for the music. You know, they even gave you a little speaker so you can play the music, a little Bluetooth waterproof speaker. We almost lost that shit. I remember when that shit fell into the water. I was like, how the fuck did it get off? And I could just hear the music slowly getting quieter. I was like, fuck. Lucky that shit floated though. But anyway, we were on the trip, right? 4 hours on the river. Noontime, mind you. Noontime. So the sun, you ain't escaping that shit unless you hit the nice patch of shade, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm having epiphanies about how I can do different lectures. Lucid S. Bay, Corey's in the house, stepping out into the storm. There we go. There we go. Put your chest out, boy. Don't be scared of it. Let me get that Monday morning real quick. Hey, bro, can I hold that Monday morning real quick? All right. Okay, so we floating down the river, man, and I'm having lecture ideas. I'm trying to talk to my wife, you know, because I got to talk them out first. I'm learning that because, just like we discussed, you know, I'll be spitting some shit like it's just me in the room, you know, and I'm not taking into account the person who's listening because I don't give a fuck about them. I'm having fun, but you know, this goes into the realm of don't eat your kids, right? Okay. Anyway, so I'm planning on setting up. It's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 episodes. No, now that I think about it, probably need to be 4 episodes. Fuck, 4 episodes. 4 episodes of straight lecturing. I'm gonna go all the way through the 16-fold path. All right. Usually I would do 12, and I usually steer away from 16 because it's doing the absolute fucking most. But we're already on Earth. We're already here. So, because when you're going from the other way, when you're going from the top down, 12-fold works better. But when you're coming from the bottom back up, 16-fold. All right. So I'm working that out. Once I do it for the show, it'll be in the course material. So it's going to be so much better. So much better. I'm about to rock these niggas, bro. It's like, this ain't kindergarten. If you just starting out, I'm throwing you in the deep end. That's how I roll here. You want to go to kindergarten? Go to somebody who's going to tell you the shit is, you know, you're God and everything is okay and everything you do is right. No, you're wrong, you suck, you're a mess, and niggas know, especially the bitches. Nigga. That'll be terrific. Nigger, hard R. Wasn't ready for that. Nigger, hard R. Yeah, it'll be terrific, Ryan. I'm getting it together though. All right, y'all, check this out. Ethan True in the building. Ethan, very good. I know it is, man. I'm telling you. Wait, and see, Ethan's took the boot camp already. He took it twice. Anybody who's taking the boot camp, they're going to be availed these courses. Everybody else, you just got to sit aside and continue to do the whole free amateur shit where you go around and get amateur information for free. Oh my God, well, it's for free, you know? And it should be for free. Why should it be for free? So you cannot give a fuck about it and take it for granted like you do the amateur information? That's why you just talk out the side of your neck with that shit. But it's all you got. And you got more than Christians. These motherfuckers out here, man, always got, Jesus isn't real. Nope, let's debate. Let's debate. I will debate on the side of Jesus is real. I'll debate on the side of Jesus is real and I'll whoop y'all ass. These niggas, all they got is Jesus isn't real. What's real then? Crystals and sage, melanin in outer space. What stop? What stop? Anunnaki flat earth. That's real, but Jesus ain't real. Watch me do it. But y'all killing me. Y'all fucking killing me. All right, yo. All right. I'm gonna do the spirit spotlight real quick, okay? You see the questions right down here. We got a nice little show set up for y'all today. Stay tuned, stick around, and make sure you share it with somebody, you know? Let a nigga know. Don't wait for the fucking algorithm. The algorithm ain't working for me. You don't want me. I ain't getting monetized. You think little kids gonna watch this show? No. This ain't appropriate for ad revenue, nigga. The forces of nature have been venerated and associated with countless deities throughout the ages. Although not the oldest by any stretch of the imagination, there is a deity who is quite well known as a king of kings and a symbol for the sun. Today, I ask the question, who is Ra? Ra was an Egyptian deity of the sun, its shining light, and a supreme force within Egyptian cosmology. Various gods in Egypt have been attributed to the sun, but Ra was the foremost of them all. He was king of the gods and is said to be a father figure within the process of creation, including being the creator of mankind from the tears of his joy. Not only was he said to govern the actions of the sun, but he could be considered the sun itself, not to mention the day. Ra is said to have either birthed himself directly from the goddess Nun, who represented the primordial void. She was an infinite sea without thinking or knowing. In that version, a spark of light took form within Nun. That spark became Ra, who then willed himself into being. Another version says that the god Amun is the one who came into existence, along with Ptah, the god of crafts, and the two created an egg that floated within Nun. From this egg, Ra was said to have been born. The most general form of Ra was a man with a falcon's head, a solar disk as a crown, and a serpent coiled around that disk, who was named Uraeus. Often depicted as a powerful king with a sun disk on his head, Ra took many forms and many names within his role. When Ra appeared with his head as a beetle, he was called Kefer, the one who comes into being. He was at different times mixed or combined with other deities, such as Amun-Ra, which when mixed with the unknowable creator deity Amun, he becomes the hidden sun and raw universal power. There were even other fusions, such as Kunum-Ra and Sobek-Ra. When Ra is mixed with Horus at the dawn in the east, he is Hora-Kahuti, or Horus of the horizon. By midday, he would return to being Ra, as when sundown approached, he would become Atum and prepare for his journey through the underworld. Anything that has a beginning has an end, and Ra is no exception to that. There is a tale of Ra in his very old age, where a move is made to take his power by the goddess Isis, queen of the underworld. The god Ra had a secret name. That was the handle for his power. A name he told to no one. That's what made it secret. The goddess Isis knew that this was the case and sought to covet that power herself by making a move to get Ra to tell her that secret name himself. She wanted to rule the earth jointly with Ra and thought herself fit to do so. Ra, being old and decrepit with his age, would at times be caught drooling and dribbling at the mouth like a baby, and this spittle would fall down from the sky. Him at this point having very little to no control over his body in his aged state. Ra had many different names, But it was this secret name that would give power to anyone that used it. This being the case, Isis decided to use Ra's old age and weakened state against him. Isis collected some earth and mixed it with the falling spittle of Ra to form of her hands a serpent. Using her powers, she brought the serpent to life and placed the creature in hiding along the path that Ra traveled daily. Generally, Ra would have been immune to a snake's bite, but this snake was not only made by Isis herself, but its venom was made from Ra's own essence. A short while later, Ra did most certainly come along with his regal retinue of gods and servants. This is when the crafted serpent leapt out from its hiding place and bit Ra on the leg. As the serpent's venom flowed through his veins, Ra cried out in pain. All of the gods gathered around him and asked what was the matter. Ra, however, was both losing his faculties from age and was gripped by the magic venom. The poison had flooded all of his members, just as the Nile during inundation floods all the lands of Egypt. When finally able to speak, Ra did most certainly inform the gods of what had happened. "Ah! I have been wounded by some deadly thing that I did not make, nor did I see." He commanded the other gods to cure him with their spells, but none could succeed. None of them, that is, except for Isis. In exchange for her healing, Isis demanded that Ra tell her his secret name. At first, the sun god attempted to instead give the goddess his various other names by boasting his accomplishments and telling her riddles. Isis, however, did not budge. The pain that Ra experienced became even greater, and still she insisted on having the secret name of Ra. "Ugh. I will allow myself to be searched through by Isis, and will let my name come out from my body and pass into her body," said Ra finally. The two hid themselves from the other gods, and Isis, along with her son Horus, began the process of seeking out the secret name. Isis went into Ra's body and not only healed him, but absorbed his power for herself. There are even tales that say that after Isis had healed Ra, she then asked for an additional wish, that her son Horus would one day be the king, and that Ra give to that boy both of his eyes, the sun and the moon. By the dynastic period of Egypt, Ra had become associated very closely with the mortal kingship of the pharaohs. And yes, I know pharaoh is a Greek term, but roll with me for a minute, please. The rulers of the fourth dynasty would in fact call themselves sons of Ra, and this was to be included in their names. Some of the earlier temples to Ra do not contain statues of the deity, but instead focus on allowing rays of sunlight to flood the temple, prioritizing the physical form of the deity as opposed to some image of it in stone. Wonderful, wonderful. Yo, first thing first, because, I'm evil. Evil is beautiful. Do you see the pimple? Look, I'm gonna do it again. Look. You see this shit? You see this shit? It's hideous. I know. But you gotta get the work done. You gotta shoot the video. You gotta do it. Welcome to the chat, yo. Welcome to the show. Who we got in this motherfucker, man? KT Bay, Timon times 2, Z and J. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the chat. And we got Travis Magus in the building. Travis, welcome. All right, y'all. Hold on. Did I get everybody right there? All right, yeah, I did. Torah. Yeah, man, you can do that. You can do that. I would try and avoid it unless you get one of them things where you like you got to get into etymology of the shit. And when I say etymology, I'm not just saying look up a definition from some other time. etymology talks about the way words transition from one to the next. It's not a one-to-one correlation like people like to do. Like, oh, people used to call this coupa, now they call it cup. Like, no, words grow and evolve in families. One word, it like you may know it as one word. Like most people don't know English and they don't know English. Like I didn't know English. I didn't know English until I had to slap myself with that shit. Like think about it like this. This is one of the words. This is one of the words. One of the people I've watched has said it this way. Think about the word sequence, right? Okay, sequence. Small example of how words grow in families. Sequence. Most people would not make the connection that that word, when taken with the prefix con, is related to consequence. They just say consequence. Consequence. So you can do that shit when it's in the same language, but motherfuckers be trying to take a word from some ancient language and think that's why English is constructed the way it is. Like I'll give you this. English has a tendency to be Catholic, which means universal and absorbing things. Okay? What the Catholic Church did. Hey, y'all celebrating December 25th? What is that heathen Jacoboo thing you're doing over there? Well, just so you know, Jesus, December 25th. So, I mean, you can come over here and do this. We're doing the same thing, aren't we? We're doing the same. Just do more of what we're doing, you know? Yeah. Catholic. It's the English language. Like Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo! When you say it, you don't necessarily, you're conveying an idea. Like this, here's a better example. I did this one time. I used to be on Tumblr a long time ago. And I made this post about the images of slave ships, right? And the caption of the post was, how come pictures like this aren't associated with the word Holocaust? Because in English, that's the connotation the word Holocaust has. It's not necessarily the denotation. That's all white people had to say to me was, denotation. Here's the denotation. Well, the word actually means burnt sacrifice in Hebrew or in German or something like that. I'm like, nigga, I'm talking English. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why does that even matter? If I said the Holocaust of the bees of Northern Virginia, you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't require the bees to have been burnt. You know what I'm talking about. It's genocide of the bees. So I would say, well, why don't I just say genocide? Holocaust in English is synonymous with genocide. But the word in its origin means a burnt offering. So just because it came from there doesn't mean that's how it grows or evolves. So yeah, English will take words from other places, but for the most part, you want to try and keep it in the same language. English is a tricky motherfucker. It's one of the hardest languages on the planet to learn because motherfuckers, like Ryan is saying, speak in phrases, and they don't even realize they speak in phrases. I didn't know English until I started learning a different language. I had to be real with my shit about that shit. Pablo, I see you in the chat, man. Wholeness and compassion. Man, you gonna ruin my coffee, bro. Wholeness and compassion. Okay. All right. Hey, come with the wholeness. And I'll work on my compassion. I won't even lie, man. I'll work on my compassion. I gotta not eat my kids. So I get it. Gotta not eat my kids. Yeah, I said hello to the niggas in the chat. All right, look, check this out. I want to talk about the segment a little bit, okay? So that was Raw. And to be quite honest, I'm going to throw this out here. I got to do some more research because it's very difficult for me to see the distinctions and symbolism between Ra and Horus. Like, there are plenty of places I'm like, I don't know who I'm looking at right now. I don't know who I'm looking at. Because look, Ra in the sense of being Amun-Ra, where he's cosmic and primordial. You know, when I was talking about, they have the story of Ra being created by the union, by Amun and Ptah creating the cosmic egg. All right, in that sense, you know, you have Ra with Amun-Ra. He's a cosmic power, but and then I'm saying the same thing. But anyway, look, when it comes to the transformation of the day, at noon, at high noon, at the most beautiful time where you see the sun at the top, he's Ra. He's Ra. In the morning, he's Horus of the horizon, Horakuti. In the evening, he becomes a tomb to get ready to go through the underworld. Now you can conflate that to simply the sun in the sky, which is what most people did. So it's not inaccurate to say that, but the progression through that threefold pattern of past, present, and future. That's also it's. I'll say it's cosmic, and this is why I'll say it's cosmic. It's primordial. Primordial is a better word for me here, because cosmic goes into cosmology, and you may limit it just to the physical world. It's primordial. Think about it like this. I've said it before. Numbers are symbols for quantities. Quantities have their own qualities. So a quantity isn't necessarily a number. A number is a symbol for a quantity, okay? The number 3. There's no way you can go touch the number 3. It's a thing. It most certainly exists. There's nowhere it exists. All right? This is what I mean when I say it's primordial. It's cosmic. And so what you're seeing expressed is that Ra. That's what Ra is. He's that 1 and that 3. And so you're looking at it from two different sides. So but in the threefold section, it's dispersed. Like what was 1 is somewhat dispersed. Anyways. So yeah, sometimes I'll have trouble deciphering the symbolism between Horus and Ra, because it's very similar. He even took on the kingship afterward. He even took the motherfucker's eyes afterward. They have the same type. They have the same head. So things like that will happen. And like the reason I show these spotlights on spirit, damn, most people really do speak only in phrases. Yeah, most certainly. Hell yeah, bro. It's deep. It's deep. That's why I try and devote so much time to words. Because motherfuckers completely overlook words. Talking about, I not get it, I know. Hey, Nick, come look at me real quick. Put it in my Instagram story. But stop. Anyway. The reason I show the spotlights on spirit, right? Okay? Self-defecation is what I work with. Left-hand path. You have to know how deities work. And they've worked the same way for a very long time. Give you ideas on how to flesh out your own pantheon. Like, look, like, you motherfuckers are looking for a way to deify the conception of I. Okay? You got the I am. The am part is the ego. All right? That's the ego. You have the I and the am. But you can't just go I. But how would you even know to even do it more than once? Fuck out of here. No. The two define one another. All right? And if they didn't define one another, there's not even a reason to have I. It's like in the Trinity with 1 and 2 defining one another to give rise to 3. Anyways. You're looking for a way to deify I. There's so much content in the idea of Ra. Look how he colors so many different other parts of the pantheon, the different forms of Ra, because each form has a different expression. Even that form can even have a different name. It has different symbolism, and it does a different job. Here's an example. I have this one deity that I deified a very long time ago. For all intents and purposes, we'll call him Gmo. All right, Gmo. We'll call him Gmo. Let me write that down when I said that shit. Gmo. I'll bring that up later. Another thing. Anyways, Gmo was a combination of every single crossroad deity I could find at the time. He was Legba. He had some Ganesha. He had some. There was a little bit of Ishu in there. I haven't had his altar up in so long, but this motherfucker's primordial in my shit. Like, and even in terms of the narrative. But this is the case. He has some Anubis in that shit too. He has some Tahuti in that shit. Anyways, this is the case. In the different forms, he'd have a different thing that he would do. For instance, in his elephant form, he's almost always dead And he's almost always a baby elephant. Like, I almost never see this motherfucker as a grown or living elephant. He's usually a baby elephant in robes, like this skeleton, dead as fuck. When he's there, he's usually talking about memory, or not just areas of personality memory, but memory in general. Or I guess a better way to say it is recall. Recall. Memory has a bit of connotation to it, and I get it. It's recall. It's to pull things pull things back that have been there. Another form, when he takes the form of the dog or a canine or a wolf, he's usually dealing in moving through time. All right. He's usually dealing in moving through time. He was before I had the context that I have now and other deities, he's what I would use to not only navigate, but alter different space-time continuums, to have them reconcile the way I want them to in this particular linear expression, okay? Like, I remember this one time, here, little subjective story, right? Little subjective story. No, I have to give you one more deity before that story makes sense. Another part of Gmo, right? If you ever watched the movie Spirited Away, great movie, right? They have the boiler room guy. I put that motherfucker in there too. Like, have you seen how his arms move, just come out of nowhere, just reaching, moving, pulling, right? I have some of that motherfucker in there, okay? And this is like one of the first times I leaned into using Gmo. That's the story I'm going to tell you. It's one of the first times I leaned into using this motherfucker. What I wanted to do was land in a reality where I found a hobby that I wanted to pursue, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, or what could keep me going forward, what I really enjoy. And so what I originally did, because no, you're gonna find out with the story. What I originally did, yeah, the spider arm guy, exactly, with the mustache and the shades, exactly, yes. So what I did was, I went to I went to the visualization. There we go. I should say it that way. I went to the visualization. And there was a fountain pool sitting in front of me. I kept everything else as darkness, right? I used the arms from the spidery arm guy in Gmo, and I created a cube. And I was in the cube, clear cube. I could see the lines on the cube though, and I made a nice little fountain, right? A fountain pool, pristine type shit, right? And so I'm walking up to the fountain, and I fall into it. And when I'm in there under the water in that space, I'm fleshing out the idea of the reality that I want to land in eventually. That I want to throw this meat bag into this future and land in. I'm fleshing out the different realities. I'm pulling up things that I want to be there. And I was doing great, man. I'm just pulling, like, I want some of this, I want some of that. I want it to be like this, I want it to be like that. And then I hit this one thought, right? And it was like, it was some terribly negative shit. And I was about to get drawn into it and just start focusing on it. And then one of this motherfucker's arms came out of nowhere, just, let me get that real quick. And just took it out. I was like, oh shit, nigga, you can do that? All right, cool. And so after that, I wasn't even worried about whether or not the thought I was bringing in was going to be conducive or positive. I could always remove it. I could always change it. Because remember, man, these deities are like your fucking hands. They're like your fucking hands. But what is you? What is you? Oh, personality and body. I don't really mean that I'm not human. Yes, you are. That's what the fuck you're talking about. Anyways, and so once I was done, I just had him pull me right back out the water. And I'm standing there at the edge of the fountain pool. And on the other side is his wolf form. And he's just sitting there looking at me. And I'm like, nigga, what? We just did all the stuff. I just put it all together. Like, okay, you gonna send me on my way? You gonna hit send, nigga? You gonna type up the email, put all the little attachments on it, change the font, and you ain't gonna hit send? I was like, oh shit. My bad, dude. And at this time, I've been working on making sure I communicate through symbol as much as I can. And so I put my hands down, made 2 little baby wolves, and I put like the idea of send into them. And I just sent them on the way over there. And nigga laughed at me, did his little howl, and then walked off into the shadows. Like, when you're working with deity, their different forms mean different things. You want the symbolism to speak for itself. Just like the symbolism in Ra of a falcon, of being up high, of having a bird's eye view of things. It speaks for itself. So maybe at first somebody's introducing you to Ra, they have to explain to you little things about it. But once you get the keys on how to read it, the shit unfolds for itself. The symbolism needs to speak for itself. The symbolism needs to speak for itself. You go in there talking English, you're going to get the connotation of your humanity. Unless, of course, you change that shit. Unless, of course, you go in and force the shit. Force it. Like, really get in there and figure out why you're making the associations you're making. Like, I was talking to another dude. I had a consultation with him. No problem, Travis. I got it, bro. That's what we do out here, man. Collegiate level shit, bro. I'm telling you niggas, sending niggas up here. Once you had these niggas graduate from shit, just send them all so I can whoop their ass. Anyways, I was talking to a dude I had a consultation with, and I be sitting here, man, I be giving niggas free shit. Niggas still be looking at me like I'm crazy. That's why I gotta stop. I gotta be like, look, I ain't talking to you, pay some money. Because otherwise you're gonna take me for granted. Anyways, I'm talking to the dude, right? And he's like, I don't like the word deity because whenever I think about it, he got the connotation of blind faith. And I'm like, that ain't got shit to do with the word. Why do you have that connotation? Well, I always think about blind, a deity being something superior somehow. And I'm like, okay, what is you? Superior to what? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. What is you? That's your issue, not the word. Not the word. So you trying to get some word that's going to make you comfortable puffing up your personality. I would like to say psychic entity. That way I'm still comfy in my personality. No. Say deity and know that at the very least, you're equal to any deity. Let me go. Let this personality and body shit go. If you talking self-deification, look, you ain't got to do that shit at Thanksgiving dinner with your mommy and the auntie and all them stuff. You ain't got to have them, looking at you outside of personality and body. You don't have to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to let go forever and always every aspect of the physical world. It's not possible. It's not possible. If there's a high, there's a low. If there's an up, there's a down. As soon as you left zero, you started a series of events. You cannot stop the game now. You cannot stop the game unless you're going to argue to me that the only thing that exists is the infinite potential and it's still unexpressed. Then you got to go all the way through. Let's Jumanji rules, nigga. The die has been cast. This is what I was talking about. Different forms, different names. Same deity. Same deity. All them deities, all the different forms I was dealing with was Gimo. It was always Gimo. That was the only thing I was dealing with at the time. But I was looking at the same thing from different angles and having those different angles interact. I was having the hand touch the foot or the side of the head kind of shit. Like I was telling them last night, like, even your physical body, you want to sit there and, it's mundane. Like, you got to get disassociated from it to a certain degree. But you never leave Kansas. Everything is infinite in its own right. That's the thing about 3. It's infinitely divisible with a defined and finite definition. Okay, so you can infinitely divide that triangle, even though it has a finite definition. All right, it's the first thing that encloses the empty space, because what's changing the whole time? The empty space. Oh no, it's the point in the line. No, those are the outward expression of the empty space changing. Fuck me though, right? No, I just don't know what he's talking about. Fuck this man. You know what? I'm gonna get into this in a second. Do you know what? Last night I was having so much fun. Just walking on Instagram, playing PlayStation, just chilling. Anyways. this young motherfucker who's on my Instagram, young dude, he's basically who I modeled some of that left-hand light worker stuff from. This kid's crazy. It's hilarious. Anyways, he saw my name pop into the you know, when you're doing a live on Instagram, you can see who comes in, so and so join. And it's funny because I was on my business account called Corporeal Chaos Consultant. I jump into this shit, and he said, "What are you doing here, Arius? What are you doing?" I just laughed if I asked him, "Are you lurking? What's going on?" And the other dude he was talking to, he was like, "Okay, guys, yeah, ask me some questions." And then he's like, "No, don't do that. He's gonna ask you a hard question." No, I was dying. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna ask you a hard question, boy. Interview with some kid, some rapper kid, and he was 21 with 3 kids. I was like, "Question: have you tried pulling out?" Fuck you mean, 21 with 3 kids? Well, what you doing? Get the fuck out of here. These kids is crazy, man. All right. Oh yeah. Last thing I want to say about deities before I continue moving on here. The continuity, okay? Like when I was talking about Gmo, what connected those different various forms is the fact that I knew they were the same deity. But when you get into certain different other deities, what you want to do is connect them through the narrative. They need continuity, like I was telling you last night. If I point out your body's hand and your body's heart, you can give me continuity between the two. That's what I mean. Even the physical body's doing this shit. Even the physical world is doing it. This shit is perfect. It's about how you're looking at it, how you're framing reality. How you're framing reality is your agreements. It's just so simple. It's so simple. It's so simple. How you're framing reality is how you're agreeing to things. So what's going to happen is you can start creating deities and you'll have a bunch of scattered deities, but until you have a continuity about how they connect, you're just making up more and more stuff. I'm telling you, I prune you back because it's a natural process. You got to be able to prune yourself back. You're going to overgrow yourself, and that shit has to condense. Because as you create these deities, they'll combine and mix. Like, for example, Gmo. This motherfucker is time in and of itself. All right? And so if I want to mix something with time, just like you have Ra, mixing with Amun-Ra, mixing with Horus, mixing with the Beetlehead to be Kefir, it's still Ra, but now it's something new and it's mixed together. Even taking the idea that Horus has the eyes of Ra. Unless you had Ra, Horus couldn't have the eyes of Ra. So Ra has to express, and now that Ra has expressed, this motherfucker's pieces you can pull. Somebody can have a leg of Ra. Somebody can have a wing of Ra. Somebody can have, Ra's utensils from dinner. Like, chill. Let that shit grow. Stop playing human. Human is a lie. Yeah, I said it, but do you get what I'm saying? Do you get it? Don't be prideful sitting on the side, man. Fuck Arius, man. I really did this shit. No, you don't. And it's okay. Hell, it's okay. You gotta not know before you know. I say it all the goddamn time. You gotta not know before you know. What's the second thing I want to get into? Okay. This next thing getting into here. I would say in comparison to the videos I've been making, this one might be a little bit long, but I want to make sure I get everything I need to say in there. Okay? Got to make sure I get everything I need to say in there, because we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this shit. I'm going to go in on this a little bit, man. But look, I want to give you the facts, because motherfuckers, they don't know what race is, and they're always talking outside of their neck. Really, they love talk outside of their neck, pontificate. If I told you niggas, don't pontificate in your stories, you can't do it. It's the only thing you got. It's the only way you identify yourself. Oh, you niggas ain't ready for this, so I ain't really gonna tell you. Nigga, you don't know. Got him. So it's like a construction, a con-transformer. A con-transformer. Like a Decepticon? Is that what you mean? A con-transformer? Soul, spirit, body. We're just driving the car, navigating the seas. Man, Brian, it ain't even your car. It's a self-driving car. This place is perfect. Like having an Escalade and being an Escalade are two very different things. You would not get an Escalade and ever suggest that you are now an Escalade. You've got a body. There's no reason to suggest that it's you. Oh, but it does this when I wanted to do that. Does it really? Go ahead and stop your heart. See how hard you got to get it to do that. It don't do what you want. It can. It does what it wants. Fucking DNA. Oh, I drank out the wrong thing. Okay, anyway, I'll put it here. This coffee's nice and hot. Nice in the thermos. Anyway. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm about to talk about race, bro. Motherfuckers be out here talking all kind of ridiculous shit at the side of their neck. I'm gonna get to the details. And look, if you watch the shit and you feeling it and you don't understand all the shit, go back and watch it again. Because I'm gonna repost the video, look up the stuff. Like a lot of the shit I put out is a starting place for you niggas to look up shit. You know, you just some guidance. If you don't want to get the consultation, here's some breadcrumbs. Look, there go the trail. There go the trail. That's all you need. Let me play the clip. Introducing my new segment in the white man's land. I have heard it said that race is identity politics. I disagree. That is what it has become. I will concede the point that identity politics has used the system of race as an archetype for its own interests. As a matter of fact, what race is exactly is surrounded in quite a bit of subjectivity, and thus a lot of confusion. More especially for black males, ignorance on the subject will leave you open to a variety of misguided and dead-end endeavors. Specifically, where people attempt to mix race with spirituality or metaphysics. I want to take this conversation beyond opinion. I'll explain the things I've said and the things I will say, but first I'm going to ask this question. What is race? In this day and age, if you were to ask the common man or woman what race or racism is, the answer is quite predictable. They would say something to the effect of, race is the color of your skin. Maybe that it's a social construct, or maybe even relate race to your biological ethnicity. And in the extreme cases, make a claim towards something metaphysical, and then start talking about nine ether such and such. On top of that, they would describe racism as something someone does. Maybe an unfair treatment of certain people based on that skin color, or calling someone out of their name in a manner that that person doesn't appreciate. They might even say that it's a social construct and doesn't exist to begin with. I won't outright say that none of these are correct at all, nor will I suggest that any of them are true. Rather, I will say that the truth of the matter is going to be found within the details of these claims and the word racism itself. Right off the bat, let's challenge a few of these ideas. As much as skin color is used as a catalyst and scapegoat for prejudice and bigotry, race is not skin color. I'll start here by reflecting on a conversation that I had while working a job some years ago. I was speaking to a coworker, red hair, fair skin. Now I, being the little niglet that I was, called him white. He looked at me very sternly and said, "I'm not white, I'm Jewish." I was stunned by this assertion, and I was about to challenge the notion when the gravity of what he said clicked for me. More towards the central point of the conversation I'm going to continue. Racism is an ism. Like feminism. It's not something you do. It's a system of thinking. The same way you wouldn't say that that person did something feminist or that person did something capitalist. To say that someone has done something racist is to say that you clearly do not comprehend the nature of an ism. The idea of race as a system of thought will make more sense as I go along here, but for now I will point this out. Not only do most people misunderstand this concept, but the information surrounding this topic is not coincidentally confusing. In an effort to bring the points that I like to challenge and to make into clear view, I'm going to answer this question. Where does race come from? Also, spoiler alert, it's not ancient or spiritual. The idea that the concept of black people comes from ancient Egypt, once called Kemet, which translates to the Black Land, is not a correlation to race or some ancient or spiritual reflection of such. In ancient Egypt, there was a red land and a black land. The red land was the realm of the foreigners, their gods, and the wilderness itself. It existed alongside the black land, which was the fertile Nile Valley settlement known as Egypt. So, that isn't where race comes from. It's not an ancient or spiritual concept. That still does not answer the question of where race comes from. But stick with me, because I'm going to bring this full circle. The question remains, where does race come from? Said differently, where did race start? Race as a concept, more especially as a concept to describe groups of people, was created right here in the Americas, and it's as American as apple pie. In fact, prior to 1681, as a matter of law or otherwise, there was no such thing as a group of people called white, or any other race for that matter. The first place race shows up in history, more especially to denote a group of people, is in 1664, within what was either the first of or the precursor to what are known as anti-miscegenation laws. Commonly, these laws are thought to have outlawed interracial marriage, although, as I usually say, the devil is in the details. To be more exact, these laws in 1664 first prohibited, quote, British and other freeborn women from marrying enslaved Negro men. Note that white hasn't yet shown up, nor has black for that matter. Nonetheless, these laws were enforced against such marriages and in some instances were encouraged by slaveholders. The reason for that is because the punishment for these women would be that they too would become slaves for the duration of their husband's life, and any children that they had would be slaves as well into their 20s at least. As I said before, the actual creation of whiteness didn't come around until 1681 in a new rendition of the laws that I just spoke about, with a change in its language to prohibit, quote, British and other white women from marrying Negro slaves. Once again, take note, black does not yet exist. But not only is white now present, but the first subjects of racism were white women. I don't know about you, but that's kind of hilarious to me. To stay on track. Now, what is it that's happened between 1664 and 1681 that necessitated the change in these laws to create white and white people? The answer to that question is the year-long rebellion known as Bacon's Rebellion in 1676. For the next 100 years after the first instance of the creation of white, and by virtue of that, whiteness, the benefits of such were animated by not only those people now deemed as white, but by the state itself, no less. Through a series of various laws that made white matter and sought to substantiate the subjugation of anyone who was not to be considered white. All this prior to and leading up to the constituting of the United States of America. White was the first race created. There is no race without its creation. Said differently, no other concept of a race of people would exist without white having first been instantiated. This is why racism is white supremacy. That isn't a moral claim. It's a claim based on what racism is. This goes back to why people say that only white people can be racists. And yes, I will most certainly concede the point that other groups of people can be both bigoted and prejudiced. That, however, isn't racism. And to make such a conflation is inaccurate. And as an effect of that is part of the reason why there is so much confusion around what race is and the role that whiteness plays in that system. My point here in all this is not to say that race does not matter, or even to suggest that race does not exist. Race is very real. My point is that race is not skin color. Race is not biological, and race is not some ancient or spiritual concept. So then, what is racism? Point blank and period, racism is white supremacy. To be even more specific and exact as I can, race is a caste system. The evolution of white supremacy from its early roots has obscured its present expression in a variety of ways. The main takeaway here is that every race is a subcategory of white. Period. If racism is anyone's problem, it is white people's problem. The problem other races of people have is continuing to agree to this caste system for lack of knowledge of what else to do. I plan to save that discussion for another segment altogether. All that being said, will I abandon the role and character of a black man? No. Why? Because the characterization is still quite pertinent in our present social climate. Although the issue of blackness is not the hill that I want to die on, I won't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater and dropping all connections to the idea of being a black male. What I will do is focus my attention beyond the bounds of this hurdle and seek to learn the details of what this idea does and can offer to me in describing and framing the reality that I live on this planet, with as much nuance as I can maintain without dissolving the details of my own conceptions. Being black cannot define who or what I am essentially. And you don't even have to take it to a level of analysis of spirituality. The state of Georgia does not exist in a manner to where I can go outside and find some line on the ground. Its existence, however, does hold some weight in its own right. The same can be said for race and being a black male. That cannot be ignored. As always, the devil is most certainly in the details. Did you just geometria? What are you talking about? Why are you geometriaing me? Why are you primordial? All right, bro. See, I'm about to get distracted before I even talk about the segment. Donovan, what are you doing? This is Lil D Donovan Dark. What you doing, man? What you mean geometry? Like, why you? Maybe you're trying to trigger me. That's what it is. You're trying to trigger me. Let me guess. You're Jewish geometry, right? But stop. Leave me alone. No, it's me. Are race/ethnicity interchangeable terms? No. Ethnicity can actually be a thing. You can even have biological roots in ethnicity. Race is a caste system. This is what I'm saying. Like, look, just like in the segment, I'll go over it again real quick. Before 1681, there was no such thing as a white person. English people existed. British people existed. Germans existed. Italians existed. There was no such thing as a white person. There was no such thing as a black person. Every race is a subcategory of white. The first one that was created was white. After white was created, to continue to substantiate the fact that white made a difference, they create the other races. They frame the other races. Think about it like this. 1681, right? Some dude writing the laws out, rewriting the anti-miscegenation laws, puts white there. And, he's talking about white women. Puts white in there. 1682. Next year, somebody been calling you white for a year. Don't make no difference yet. Well, what difference? It's like I walk up to you and start calling you a Zimja. All you niggas is Zimjas. The fuck is a Zimja? It don't make a difference until you start putting some other laws with it. Like this. Unless you're a white male, you can't testify against a white male in court. So the state ain't coming to save your ass. It's coming to fuck you up, but it's not coming to save you. What's that? Only people who can own land are white males. Oh, so now, hold on. That means something. I want to be a Zimja. Let me be a Zimja, bruh. Exactly. Bruh. Take slow timer off. No, I'm not going to take slow timer off, bruh. Because you're going to start flooding me with geometry stuff. Fuck out of here, man. You're killing me. Look, race and ethnicity are not the same thing. Racism. It's a system of thinking. It's a system of thinking, like feminism, like capitalism. That guy did something capitalist. You don't say that. But they can say that guy did something racist because they're confused. I get it. I was confused too. It's not the case. All races are subcategories of white. That's why you motherfuckers out here like, well, talking about people of color or melanated beings. What you're trying to do is avoid saying white. And that's the last thing you need to do. Racism is white supremacy. So the passive aggressive shit to try to exclude white people by being inclusive of everything else, it's passive aggressive, first of all. And it's what it does is to continue to let whiteness as the central point of racism continue to be in the shadows. And I'm not saying, hey, go look at white people. There's no such thing as white people. Like that's the biggest thing here. There's only the existence of white people within the context of white supremacy. Outside of white supremacy, it doesn't exist. Like this is why I think the idea of people of color is so fucking stupid. Because there's so many different groups of people of color. Okay, so you got all these different groups. Who's not in people of color? Could you raise your hand? Could you raise your hand? There's a small group of white people in the back. That's it. Like you may as well just point out the white people as opposed to saying people of color. No, and this is how whiteness perpetuates itself today, is that it's never pointed out. It gets to be the silent default in the shadow of everything. And no one mentions it. And you continuing to be passive aggressive and not pointing out the influence that whiteness has on racism as a whole. Because white people, they don't think about race until a nigga walk in the room. When it's just white folks by themselves, these are good schools. Such a safe neighborhood. Oh, wow. The park here looks really good. Wonder why. Like, come on now. But other white people got to be able to stop that. As far as niggas who not white, like, bro, you got to keep pointing out where whiteness is being the default. Like, you type it in your little keyboard. You put Eurocentric on there. It's not a word. Well, no, Eurocentric is a word. Afrocentric is a word. Anyways, look, it's the details. It's the details. And I specifically did not go into what Bacon's Rebellion was because, like I said, breadcrumbs. If you niggas ain't thinking to continue to look this up, what the fuck are you doing? Aren't you following me? I'm a fart. Don't follow me. You're going to get it all in your mouth and your nose. Look this shit up, bruh. Look the shit up. 1664. Anti-miscegenation laws are created. It's not to outlaw interracial marriage. It's to outlaw British and other freeborn women from marrying enslaved Negroes. It does not outlaw interracial marriage because in 1664, there is no race. But you take the same laws and create race at 1681. The thing that happened in between that was the catalyst for this change was Bacon's Rebellion, where the elite rich were worried that they'd lose everything because you had the masses of poor people who've been working together, living together all this time, rise the fuck up for a whole year. Fuck out of here. Used to be that British nigga was right there next to that Kenyan nigga working the same field day in and day out, living the same shitty life. We'll say, what are we gonna do to divide and conquer these motherfuckers? Well, we'll take these ones that look like us and say, hey, you could be us as long as you stick to whiteness. They made whiteness mean something. And then once whiteness means something, you can't just say, oh, well, it means nothing. And, just not say it. No, like we don't treat anything like that. If rape was a problem, would you be like, well, let's just not mention rape? No, no, no. See, you don't have to be the motherfucker that put me in chains, or my grandparents or great-grandparents in chains. You don't have to be that person today. But if you're the motherfucker today that's perpetuating the shit, even with your silence and your acquiescence, you're still doing it. You're still doing it. It's a system of thought. It's a system of thinking. Let me look at these comments. I'm about to fucking nut up. Fuck you mean, man? Race and ethnicity are not interchangeable at all. That is the point here. It's not skin color. It's not some form of biology. Like niggas is out here talking about race as biology. It's not biology. You motherfuckers out here conflating your spiritual shit with, oh, we gotta get the white man. You missed it. I guarantee you missed it. And you don't know the origins of race. You niggas talking about the black land, Kemet. No, you don't know what the difference between the black and the red land was, or even the purpose of the distinction. You niggas are ignorant and you're floundering around in your fucking ignorance, and you have no inclination to check that shit. I'm telling you, it's not because of Kemet that you're black. Fuck out of here, dude. It's ridiculous. Take slow timer off. No, bruh. Same thing with black people's calling themselves Christian. Christian originally devoted to European. A black Christian denotes property of a European. You also have the black codes. You know, like, this is what I'm talking about. See, I always talk about this shit. What are you agreeing to? What words invoke things? They invoke jurisdiction. What are you agreeing to? Look up what a Christian is. It's a fucking cretin. God damn it. Look up what a human is. It's a monster. It's a beast. What are you agreeing to? Oh no, I just don't like the way this word feels. I'm gonna use this word. Why? So you can agree in another subtle way to human? Y'all niggas ain't getting it. I'm telling you. What is you? What are you agreeing to? What are you agreeing to? Not so you can make some new agreements. You can go back and look at the ones you've been making for years and are going to continue to subtly agree to unless you re-examine them. See, racism is white people's problem. Because at the end of the day, it does not serve white people. From anybody else looking up at white people, it looks like, damn, racism is serving white people. It doesn't. It uses them. And see, these motherfuckers are figuring out that shit out now, like in the last 10 years, most certainly. Like, to be a white male is just, oh my God, you're just oppressive because you exist. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. And then black men, this is really why I want to get into this shit, because being a black male is conflated with being a white male. But stop. So because I'm walking around with a dick within white supremacy, I'm equal to a male. I have privilege. You've got to be out your fucking mind. Don't no one else get their dick cut off like they cut off our dick. But stop. Ain't nobody in them fucking cells like me. But I got privilege there. But stop. You out your goddamn mind. See, you got the Duluth model that does the thing where you go, white man, white woman, black man, black woman. Oh my God, black women are at the bottom. No, that is not the way racialized men work within white supremacy. Here's something a little more accurate. White men, white women. Black women, black men. They even facilitated black women being in white supremacy at large. Because check this out, affirmative action, who was that for? Minority groups. Who was the first minority group? White women. Come on. Because before then, there wasn't a place for white women in the workplace like that. But affirmative action, what's the word? I don't want to say catalyst again. It sped up the process of facilitating women in the working place. And so now they had a whole bunch of different ways to let white women in. It wasn't about letting niggas in. But now, continue to separate the family. What do? Well, we'll get the black women this job in the big house. Same shit, different era. We're gonna get a black woman a job in a big house. And she gonna look down at the nigga down there in the field. I gotta pick up trash on the street for $7.15 an hour, and you get to sit behind a desk with no qualifications for $12.50. Why? Because the white lady who did it before you got to do it for $16.50. Let's stop. You gonna look at me talking about pay gap. Man, bitches don't do the shit we do. Talk about privilege, conflate black men to white, as if black men want to be white men. Do you see how niggas wear their pants? Their hat. How they talk, how they walk, how they move. Niggas constantly doing shit not to be that. The fuck out of here. But I tell you, somebody who is trying to be like white folks, not black men. Not black men. We ain't the ones repeating, we're not the ones parroting feminist talking points from the era of eugenics. Because you see, this is the white suffragettes, the early white feminists. This was their beef. I'm the mother and wife of the white man, conqueror of the world, the savior of the world. And yet this Negro is going to be free and have more rights than me. This nigga man. Come on now. Come on now. That was her argument. And y'all parroting the same arguments she had against your man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Black men, look, you gotta know this shit, because if you don't, it's gonna be used against you. Alright? You gotta know this shit. You gotta know where this shit comes from, so you're not agreeing to some stupid shit out the side of your goddamn neck. I'm sorry. I started ranting again. Where the fuck was I at? Oh, can I scroll on this side? I gotta use the bar. Okay. Look, I don't know what Donovan got the kitty laugh at. Ism equal dog. It's a system of thought. Yeah. An ism is a system of thought. All right. Think feminism. It's a system of thought populated by ists. I-S-T. Okay. It's really not difficult, but you got to get out of the habit of what you've been trained. He did something racist. No, he didn't. Chill out. That's not how an ism works. Pimps call their game ism. I didn't know that. All right. Pimp game is an ism, man. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Dino Brown. Damn, I never knew any of this. Of course, you're not supposed to. Because as long as you don't know, you continue to think you know. And a nigga who think he got the answer, don't ever ask the question. I'm going to say it again. A nigga who think he got the answer, don't ever ask the question. You got to question what you think you know. I'm telling you. It goes a long way. And if you really want to follow up on some of this information, look up a white lady. Her name is Jacqueline Batalora. Jacqueline Batalora. She actually studies this. See me? I had to find the information and then repackage it so I can put it into a segment and make sure I know the shit for myself. Go do the work. Figure it out. I'm telling you, bro. It's easy. White people are beige. It ain't about the color. It ain't about the color. Because you can think about when the Italians, when the Italians and the Irish, really, when they started coming over here. See, when they was coming over here and they weren't taking British people's jobs like the regular white people who had already established themselves, when they weren't taking their jobs, everything was fine. Once they came over here and they started to be cheap labor, then they started getting treated like niggas. And the only way out was start treating niggas like niggas. I'm telling you, bro, it's nothing to do with skin color. Because what race, like I said, white don't serve white. What race gets the benefit of white, but can say, no, I'm not white. Excuse me, nigger. God damn it, it's funny. God damn it, it's funny. Here's a tip. It's not Asian. Niggas built the railroads. It's not Asian. People of color fall in the jurisdiction of color of law. You can say that. But see, this is my biggest thing about people of color. It's literally colored people. You're settling for being called colored people again, which is why that's why I would agree with you under the color of law shit. People of color. What is the word of? Anyway, let me guess. You're never going to look in the dictionary because you know too much. You know everything. You know you good. A nigga think he got the answer ain't going to ask the question. What does of do? It creates a fiction. creates a fiction. If you switch the 2 letters around it, you can take the of out. You can take the of out if you switch 2 letters around it. It's colored people. You're letting them, oh, people of color. People of color. Look at all these people of color over here. You're letting them call you colored people again. Like, bro, you motherfuckers, you're trying to feel so good and find a way to passive-aggressively not mention white. That's the last thing you want to do. Because as long as you continue to not mention white, it gets to stay as a default. It isn't to say go out here and say something to white people. Like, no, bro, reframe your reality. All right? See where you're agreeing to this. It's a caste system. It's a caste system. They are still brown, pasty brown. You said pasty brown. Well, yeah, it's not the color. It has nothing to do with the color. Look, is Asian a color? See, motherfuckers so caught up in the black-white thing. That's part of that's just shit you're agreeing to. Asian ain't a color. It ain't got shit to do with color. Well, you got Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese now, depending on who you ask. Fucking motherfuckers from India are Asian. Asian isn't a color. It's a caste system. It has nothing to do with your skin color. The skin color is usually used as a catalyst for the prejudice and bigotry, but the prejudice and bigotry itself is prejudice and bigotry. It is not racism. Oh, it's a system of thought, guys. I'm telling you. Fuck the color of skin. It has nothing to do with the skin color. It has nothing to do with the skin color. You need to look at the system itself and its roots. Oh shit, what was that? Okay, anyway. Let me finish up these comments. Indentured servitude to this day. Yeah, let's see. Look, it used to be indentured servitude. Now it's voluntary servitude. Motherfuckers will sign up for the shit all day. Sign up for the shit. They're outlawed involuntary servitude. What does that leave you with? If I get rid of involuntary servitude, what's left? Voluntary. You can sign up for servitude all day, boy. Hell yeah. Even the white man isn't on top. Not at all. Whiteness does not serve white people. It was initially a mechanism, and still works that way today, for divide and conquer. For divide and conquer. Hundreds of years later, holding on to it for dear life and proud of it. I'm telling you, bro, you got to know the details. Wow, we went there. What about the black card? What the fuck is the black card? You mean like the credit card? The credit card? What's the black card gonna get me? More especially me, I got a dick. Look, unless I cut it off and decided to be a woman, my dick don't get me nothing in this place. What's gonna get me the sexual innuendo from the Magnum ice cream commercial? Well, stop. CJ, until this point I thought race was biological. Exactly, it is not. I'm telling you, it's not biological, it's not skin color, and it's not spiritual, nine ether, whatever the fuck, melanin. It's not. It's not. It's most certainly a caste system. White supremacy is racism. White supremacy is racism. That's it right there. I can't say it any simpler. I'm telling you. Off topic, but kind of not. One dude said the whole planet is green because of carbon, and that's why we belong here, because we're carbon-based. Like, bro, ever heard of chlorophyll? Like, okay, thank you. You ended it there. No, man, this carbon shit, bro. Chill out, man. Like, motherfuckers have, like, they running so fast from Christianity, they don't realize what they left behind. They just come out here and make some convoluted bullshit, which is kind of gonna lead us into this next segment. Is there a higher and lower self? I hear niggas talk about it a lot. It's real comfy to say, my higher self is this, my lower self is doing this. Just like motherfuckers like to say, the ego doing this and the ego doing that. No, it's not. I ain't doing shit to you. It's your pride. It's your pride. It ain't me. And if you get rid of your fucking pride, you can actually see some shit. Motherfuckers be like, the ego's doing this. Don't take the time to look up what ego is in the first place. Don't look up none of the surrounding framework for where the idea comes from. Like I'm saying, man, if a motherfucker think they got the answer, they ain't gonna ask a question. That's how you keep a motherfucker out of some information, out of some knowledge. Be like, look, here's the answer, and here's how you feel good about this shitty piece of answer I gave you. Oh, this it? Can I tell niggas, son? Boss, can I tell niggas about this so that I can be prideful? I'll blame the ego. Yes, sir, I'll blame the ego. Thank you, boss. Get the fuck out of here. No, it is not the ego doing it to you. I am. The am. That's ego. That's ego. And you need it to go past I. See, like I'm saying, look, middle path, that's just already been done. You already have the substantiation of the I. All right, the right-hand path is going back to dissolving the self. You need to have that I am do something with the third part. And not just that, because once you get to the third part, take it all the way to 9, which means going through the illusion. You've got to, you can't just get rid of the illusion, because then you go back to what you started with. All right? It's like you start running a race and you run halfway through the race, then turn around and go back to the starting line. Like, nigga, finish the game. Finish the process. The seed don't want to sprout because it's so mad that it used to be a fruit and it fell from the branch. Oh my God, why can't I get back up the tree? It's just down here in the dirt. It's crazy. No. Finish the process. Dig in. Root in the earth. Root in the most low and go back up. I'm telling you, you cannot go back up the trunk. No one's going to pick you up and put you back in the canopy. Left-hand path. And when I'm saying left-hand path, self-deification is the left-hand path proper. A lot of these motherfuckers out here, they're left-ish. Like I was talking to one of my clients. He got caught up in a group of people, you know, they basically do left-hand path in a right-hand path manner. They do left-hand path stuff in a right-hand path manner. This is why I call them leftish. Leftish. All right, they do all the veneration and stuff to these darker deities. And see, this is the thing about the darker stuff. When in the places where it's dangerous, what it's dangerous to is your humanity. See, these motherfuckers who do the left-hand shit in a right-hand manner, they're holding on to humanity. They're holding on to humanity. Like I tell you about the motherfucker who had the 3 chants and he only did the first 2. Like, how dare you? Finish. Go all the way. No, the third one, man, it's so dangerous. You guys can't hear it. It's too powerful. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Human as fuck. Human is the lie. Human is the lie. You talking this spiritual shit? That's it. Human is the lie. Why stop? Man, them motherfuckers try to conflate the spiritual shit with all this other shit like race. I'm telling you, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. Leah Jenkins in the building. Hey, everybody, better late than never. You goddamn right. Welcome to the show. Rewind that quote. Which quote, Pablo? Which one? Hey, let me know, bro. I'm gonna do it. Well, I don't know. I can't rewind while I'm doing the live stream. I don't know. You could probably rewind it, which look like the DVR stuff on YouTube. I don't know. Zohan in the building. What's going on, Z? Nice seeing the chat, man. Civilitiae mortis. Yeah, I'm gonna look that one up. That sounds like some Latin shit. I try to avoid Latin when I can, but because I already have enough trouble thinking about the fact that it's legalese sometimes, and then Latin's another thing. Like, I always had this idea, like if I go into court, right, and I got me a little Latin phrase or some shit, right, and I just go up there to the judge, I hit him with a Latin phrase. Oh, you want to speak that language in here? This motherfucker been studying this shit. I gotta like, no, slow down, bro. I just had one. Chill out. They already speaking legalese. Oh shit, we already higher lower self question. Is G-O-D an equation? Q-S-G-O-D an equation? I don't know what you're talking about there. Look. We're going to get into the segment, y'all. We're going to get into the segment. You can't hear the third one. It's too powerful. Yeah, face ass niggas, man. This shit crazy. How dare you start calling me up and then want to just be like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just playing. No. You get what you asked for in this motherfucking shit. All right, we on to the next segment, y'all. Moving on. Don't believe me, just watch. In the age where no one debates anymore, the conversations don't get any scrutiny. and so the details tend to elude us. As a left-hand path practitioner myself, I reject those methods. Keeping that same energy, I'll ask this question. Is there a higher and lower self? It is no longer in fashion to worship some omnipotent God above, or to fear a devil lurking around each and every corner. Not just for your run-of-the-mill spiritualists or your leftish occultists, but even for those who claim the left-hand path. The spookism of old that had cradled the masses is being rejected in record numbers. The philosopher Nietzsche made the statement that God is dead, and this commentary has reverberated through the Western world with a vigor of its own. The superego shackles of antiquity are now falling away. The issue, though, is that what has replaced them may be far more sinister, if only in a subtle way. The notion of a higher and lower self has become very popular in recent years. Instead of a God out there somewhere, the new claim is that it's all you. In fact, it was always you. Everything is within, and to seek anything outside of yourself is folly. I won't disagree with these ideas, but what I will say is the same thing I always say, is that the devil is in the details. It takes the omnipotence of what was once God and attributes it to the higher self. It takes the negative behavior of the devil and attributes that to the lower self. All the while, this process is focusing more and more attention to the personality and body. A deeper agreement to the illusion of physical life, as opposed to going within and actually addressing what is behind the appearance of the physical world and what is you. Where these ideas are lacking is in how the self in general is framed. With this new acknowledgement of a higher and lower self, the nature of the self in general doesn't change at all, and instead is transmuted into a glorified and complicated personality, a deeper agreement to physical life. If anything, these new notions only serve to blur the line as to what constitutes that which is outside of the self and that which is within. Notions like this are part of the reason that people believe that what within self means is within the body. Why concepts of heaven and things like the Christ mind or Godhead are made mundane and set their focus upon unlocking something within the flesh of the body that somehow makes it divine once it's unlocked. All the while, subtly perpetuating the agreements of humanity with more complicated and baseless steps. The framework of a higher and lower self is another convoluted redressing of right-hand path pageantry. A new way of packaging the idea of a personal God into a garnishment of the personality. Changing what you think will only give you new words to say and a new dressing on old ideas. The goal is to change how you think. That is what will make all the difference. Yeah, exactly, Zohan. And see, look, from one perspective, it's a question. From another perspective, it's a statement. I could be giving you all the keys right there, but you agree to look at it as a question. It could be a question, because look, it highlights a certain interesting point is, what is you? See, a motherfucker will sit there in the Instagram and be like, hey, fuck all these religions, man. It's all within you. It's all within the self. All these gods, they're really talking about what's within you. Okay, what is you? I'm myself. What's the self? You got a higher and lower self. That means there's a self in general. What's the self in general? What am I going within? They got nothing for you. Oh, you got to go within to find out. Wait, hold on. I just asked you, what do I go within? And you said to find out, I got to go within. Well, what am I going within, kid? You got to go on within your cells and in your melanin and in your DNA. You got to upgrade your DNA. Okay, so those things are the body. So what the self is, when I'm going within myself, if I'm going in the body, then what you're agreeing to is what your self is the body. Come on, that's basic stuff. The physical world is an illusion. You are not your body. The physical world is an illusion. You are not your body. See, this is what everybody agrees to, but they don't think about it. You give a nigga an answer. If a nigga think he got the answer, he ain't gonna ask a question. Motherfuckers are really comfortable in that shit because it's easy to feel good about that. Oh, it's all within me. Now I can finish getting through my job at UPS today. Let's stop. Let's stop. It's affirmation and motivation. It focuses all this shit on the personality and the body complex. And neither of those things is you. You're not the hardware or the software. Leave that shit alone. Niggas talking about the matrix this, the matrix that. And see, this ain't just to say, go back to being infinitely oneness or infinite nothingness. Like, no, nigga, that's where it starts. There's a reason we left that place. There's a reason. I say that metaphorically. I'm being facetious when I say there's a reason we left that place. I'm speaking metaphorically. I'm not saying, because in terms of the leaving of the one, there is no we. There's no we. You don't start to get we until the bottom of the clip off. Fuck you talking about until you hitting you doff. Talking about no we. See, motherfuckers don't even get how this shit work. They don't look. All these different things you're looking at, they're frameworks for describing the same thing, which is a map of reality. Okay. When these different religions and rites and frameworks were created, they weren't created from the place of I can tap into a computer and look up anything I want. Any religion that's on the face of the earth. Like a motherfucker 400 years ago in India couldn't go practice Shinto. Like he had to give up all of his whole life to go do that. Now, type that shit in. It's a whole new age. Look, Bobby Hemmings said almost 20, 40 years ago, this shit is over. What does that mean? Oh, the white man is going down and the black man will rise. And nigga, what? Nigga, what? Well, these motherfuckers gonna give up their guns, their prisons, their money, their systems? No. Every end is another beginning. There's a whole new thing coming around. And you motherfuckers don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Look, that's just the narrative of physical life right there. In terms of this spiritual shit, that old shit is over. The new thing, it's all these places are mixed together. All these different pantheons are mixed together. What used to be separate and combative or adversarial is mixed together. Let's say 2,000 years ago, some Northern African tribe went to war with a Southern African tribe. They had different deities. Their gods would be adversarial. Today, those gods don't have to be adversarial anymore. Fuck you mean, man? It's a whole new order. But y'all niggas asking the wrong questions or ain't asking questions at all because you think you get it. And it feels good to say, oh, it's all within you. And then what's your motivational speaker now, nigga? Guys, you gotta wake up. Tap in. It's all within you. All right? All these gods. I'm all these gods. Don't agree to a religion. They're all these gods. Just tap in. And now you're a spiritual teacher. Let's stop. Fuck out of here, man. Madman made a good reel of him talking to one of those motherfuckers. I think you're talking about like, it was like a skit reel he did. Yeah, I did some skits too talking about the motherfuckers. Well, I gotta get back to the shit. Why am I playing with the keys? I don't know, I should move it. I gotta get back to that shit for real. Mostly what I'm doing is trying to set up the premises for everything so that it continues to flow. Like even with the show, I spent almost a year setting up what I wanted to do before I made anything. So I'm gonna do that. I'm tying my shoes before I start running. KTB says, mine, not the hardware or the software, and no need to dissolve back into the one. Exactly. Look, when they say Christ died for your sins, the work has already been done. You've already gone. The thing has already gone from zero all the way down to the bottom. That's been done. You don't need to recreate that. It's already been done. What you got to do is finish the rest of the process. Like when they say, like, let's get back to Christianity. They said God will take 2 steps if you take the 3rd. Then God walk in, take the 2 steps, and you're like, I got a lot from them 2 steps you took. Do I really gotta take the 3rd? Get the fuck out of here. Take the 3rd step. Let this shit go. What was tithing? Oh, you had to give the money? No, didn't understand it. Give back 10%. 10% of what? Malkuth. The physical world is 10% of the entire expression. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. What's he talking about, bro? Is that Christianity? Niggas didn't get what they was running from because they was running so goddamn fast because they was butthurt that niggas knew that they was wrong. Fuck out of here. See, niggas was only hurt by that shit because they really believed it. That's the shit that was fucking them up. No, stop. I'm telling you, niggas don't get what they was running from. You don't get how this shit. Let me debate you. Jesus is real. Come on. They ain't got nothing. No, debating is beneath me. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what ain't beneath you. Getting out here and preaching like you know what the fuck you talking about with your motivational speech. Man, fuck that shit. Man, fuck that shit. But everybody's right. And look, if everybody wasn't right, man, a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't even be on the map. I'm telling you. This is the age of knowing. And what that means is the charlatans are getting cut. It's not that, it's just all one thing and you just gotta know what's within you. No, the charlatans are getting cut. Don't be a charlatan. If you don't know and you're not challenging yourself as to whether or not you know, you should probably shut the fuck up. Become an expert and know before you start saying. I'm telling you. Otherwise, I'm gonna be at your doorstep. I'm gonna be in the back of your class like, so you teaching now? I got a question. Please don't ask me a hard question. What the fuck we in here for? Let's stop. Are not all gods extensions of Allah, the all? You can say that, but there isn't anything that's not an extension of that to the degree to which it extends at all. Because in and of itself, the all is all. It's one thing. To even extend is something other than the all. So you have to have illusion, which is 2. So you can get into the Trinity, you have 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, which is completely unexpressed, undefined. Well, it's not undefined, there's a structure to it, but it's structure in and of itself. When you're talking about the all, that's 1. The all is mind. Mind is the threefold pattern. It's not thinking, it's not rumination, it's not mentation. It's the threefold pattern. You start with 1, the all. It's only one thing. There's no place the one thing is because that place would be something other than the one thing. There's no thing the one thing does because to do, and even the thing you would do, is something other than the one thing. The all is one thing. All is mine. It's one thing. Now, once you add 2, which is illusion, why do I say 2 is illusion and necessary? Because illusion is the capacity to be something other than what you actually are. To appear to be something other than what you actually are. What the thing always is the one thing that's everything. The only way it could ever be anything else is to appear to be something else. Because it can't not be what it is. So the only thing you can do is appear to be something else. That's 2, that's illusion. But it's still potentiality. Until you've mixed 1 and 2, which is 3, which is the savior, it saves its father from itself. What's its father? 1. It saves 1 from itself. Why? Because otherwise, all 1 could do is be one thing. Simple shit. Simple shit. Jesus is real. Debate me on it, niggas. No, that's beneath me. No, that's beneath me. Where's my soapbox? Someone sign me into Instagram, please. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here. So look, but to the degree to which it extends at all, then yeah, I'll agree with you. But it's almost redundant to say it because there is the only thing that isn't an extension of the all in that respect is the no thing, which is 0. Because 1 is an extension of 0. So when I say the only thing that's not an extension of 1 is nothing, the no thing is 0. So yeah, but because we can debate about the idea of whether or not 0 ever extends. We can debate about the fact that whether or not one ever extends. Like, we can actually have debates about this shit, and we can flesh out both sides of the perspective, because in respect to each side, it's correct in and of its own self, in its own right. They're not correct at the same time. It's like Harry Potter and fucking Voldemort. Neither can live while the other survives. It's right in its own right. It's right in its own perspective from its own side. And thereby extensions of self. We'll see, once again, how you're defining self. Because yes, that oneness is the core essential aspects of self. But you also have to get to the three part, because this is the first time there's being. There's definitive being. There we go. Being defined. Because once again, the thing that's changing the whole time is the empty space. It goes from one. One is not necessarily being, though. It's a positional, or it gives definition to the zero, right? Two, which is the line segment of the ray, it actually extends what you're looking at, or what exists. And three puts a cap on that. It's the first place that the infinite unexpressed potential is not only defined, definitive, so it becomes finite, but is at the same time infinitely divisible within itself. I'm telling you, it's mind is the threefold pattern. It is not thinking, mentation, or rumination, or your stupid personality bullshit. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, I can't express it enough. That's why I'm feeling like this, because I can't express it enough. The Trinity is the shit, but niggas don't get the Trinity. Don't get the Trinity. So, but in terms of self, in this multiplicational sense, I'll say, to the same degree that 1 is 3, 3 is 9. But the only way that 1 is 3 is by way of 2. So the only way 3 is 9 is by way of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you got, like, the dice has already been cast. The game has started. Jumanji rules. You got to play it all the way through. So trying to go back and say, can I unroll the dice? Let's take the pieces off the board. Can we start over? I'm just going to throw it in. No, you can't. You've got to go all the way through. You've got to go all the way through. So that's why I say, so in terms of self, once you get to 9, you can have this multiplicational concept of self. But then 9 leads into 10, which is completion, which is the first iteration of anything physical. All right, 10, 11, and 12 is going to be the first iteration of anything physical. So it depends on where you're talking about with self. And the issue that I'm bringing up with this idea of higher and lower self is that most generally when motherfuckers are using that, what happens with the idea of self in general is it goes back to personality and body. And that is not the thing. That's not the thing at all. And they get convoluted in glorifying and complicating the idea of the personality and body. See, look, this is what you left when you left religion, okay? This is what you left when you left religion. You left the framework for what reality is at large, what the self is, and the continuity between the two. That's what religion gave you. I don't care what the answer was. You need an answer for those 3 questions. And you niggas out here don't even realize you asking the question, because the nigga think he got the answer. Ain't gonna ask the question. Don't even realize that's what you're trying to figure out. Out here putting together convoluted bullshit. A homunculus of buffoonery and cap. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. It's so ridiculous. But you gotta not know before you know. But unless you get to the point where you allow yourself to not know, you're never gonna know. You're just gonna be out here looking like it. You're gonna be looking like it. Purpose is to be about our Father's business on earth as it is in heaven and beyond. Exactly. Just like I was talking about Horus. Horus is Osiris. The Father does not give the Son. He is the Son. He gives the world that he so loved, which is 4. It's simple shit, bro. It really is. Is Jesus an anthropomorphic being? Is Jesus an anthropomorphic being? Well, if you anthropomorphize it, I guess. Because that's what most, in terms of telling the story for people, that's the first thing you do, is you anthropomorphize something that otherwise wouldn't necessarily have those. I would say God the Father is more of an anthropomorphized being, because that oneness doesn't necessarily, the only quality it has to it is wholeness, is unity. It doesn't have these characteristics of thinking and feeling and desiring to do this. Like, that's anthropomorphizing shit. All right. Christ is, in comparison to the 1, is that 3. So in a sense, you have to anthropomorphize it to begin to see the whole narrative in terms of something that you can comprehend. But once you get to the place of experiencing these things on a one-to-one basis, meaning that knowing that you're in the world but not of it, and not just saying that shit to motivate yourself like motherfuckers do this higher and lower self bullshit, knowing, and because there's different types of knowing. Most people are caught up in, what is it? Is it empirical knowing? Is it empirical knowing? It's, what's the word? Propositional knowing. There we go. Most people are caught up in propositional knowing, where the idea of knowing is to be able to repeat a phrase that explains a certain idea. But that's not the same as like knowing how to drink out of a cup. Like a 2-year-old can know how to drink out of a cup, but they don't have the propositional knowledge to convey the idea of that, even though they have the knowledge of how to do it. Right? Most motherfuckers, most of the knowledge you have isn't propositional. It's not. But once you get into this type of knowledge outside of the propositional bullshit, it's not that it's bullshit, because it's a skill. It really is. It's honestly a skill to be able to put knowledge into a propositional sense. That's what the philosophy does. That's thinking about your thinking, I'm telling you. But there are other forms of knowledge. Once you can know these things, as in experience them on a one-to-one basis, that's what's going to change how you view it. So at first you're going to have to anthropomorphize it, even to... It's kind of like bearings to guide you in which direction you're going to go. I had a dream you was at a lecture and you turned into Dr. Doom. Hell yeah, nigga. Here to fucking rain on y'all niggas parade. Put me in the lecture circuit, man. Put me on stage. Or what, I can't go? What? Well, I gotta say outer space is melanin? I gotta talk about the womb? It's lingam time, nigga. It's lingam time. What the fuck that womb gonna do without the lingam? It's just gonna sit around and bleed. Leave me alone. Get that lingam through, stop that blood, get that thing going, boy. Get that thing going. It gives birth to the... Don't do that without me. And if you start doing it without me, you ain't talking about the feminine no more. Let's stop. Let's stop. I can't grasp what is you as a statement. What do you mean? Change the punctuation at the end. What is you? Here, think about it like this. It's a question and an answer. It's the answer to the question you asked. What is you? What is you? To really get it, you have to comprehend that maybe you don't get what is. Here we go. Who and where are forms of what? Like, you ever seen the movie V for Vendetta? The white girl, she's about to get beat up in the alley, and the V comes out, knocks them niggas out, hit them with the, hits the long little poem with all the Z words, and it does little V words, and then it does a little V on the brick wall. And then her dumb ass, because she clearly missed the whole thing, wasn't listening, like, looks at a man in a mask, is like, who are you? Who is a form of what? And what he says is like, look, what I am is a man in a mask. So it's comical that you ask, who am I? Because what I am is a man in a mask. Who is a form of what? If I tell you where, I've also told you what and generally who. Like 1664 British colonies. I told you where. So I told you who and what at the same time. It's just like 1, 2, and 3. They're not necessarily simply interchangeable, but they define each other to a degree where it's very difficult to separate them from each other. All right, they define each other like the points in the triangle. They define each other: what, who, and where. So the answer to the question "What is you?" is what is you. You got to know what means, is, and then you. I'm telling you, look up the words in a couple of different dictionaries, because there's no such thing as the dictionary. There's no such thing as the dictionary. A dictionary is a dictation. It's a collection of dictation, actually. The word airy is, the suffix airy, excuse me. It denotes a collection of things. What is collected in a dictionary? Dictation. What are they dictating? The language. I'm telling you, look at a couple of different dictionaries, and if you can, get a hold of an old ass one. From the boot camp, I give y'all the app for Webster's 16 or 18. I don't know. It's an old ass Webster's dictionary. Get into the older ones because motherfuckers, I don't want to say they will change it because you're like, oh my God, it's they. Oh, he's talking about they again. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, words change over time more, especially if you're looking at law dictionaries or there's some type of incentive to reduce the definition on something. Anyways, the Holy Trinity, Hail Mary. Yes, sir. The Holy Trinity. The Trinity is the thing. It's the thing. And it is talked about anthropomorphically so that you can understand the dynamics, and then once you can start to deal with it, you can get it more. 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 10. Four is the word of Malkuth, meaning it's 10. Yeah, but you only have 4 in the combination. You're even doing it in the math problem here. You only have it equaling to 10 when it's added to 1, 2, and 3. So it's not necessarily that 4 is equal to 10, although I see what you mean. In the context of simply 1, 2, 3, and then expressing 4, you have the same thing where you go from unexpressed, unconditioned, to the clip off, to the tree of life, and then earth or Malkuth being the 4th aspect. I get that as well. But in the respect that you're putting it here, that 4 doesn't equal 10 unless it's also combined with 1, 2, and 3 in their individual sense. So I roll with, but we can go around with it. I fuck with that. Yes, sir. See, Donovan, you can do it, bro. You can do it. You don't have to connect it to Jewish geometry. That should be killing me. Look, here's the thing. Geometria works because the number system repeats. It's the same reason astrology works. Because not only does the zodiac repeat, but the movement of the planets repeat. Okay? They repeat in a consistent manner. That's why you can find patterns from it and correlate the patterns in different places. It's not that someone is encoding this and they have encoded this in the movie, and when you look it up, you find this number, but when you add the number, it means this. So that's really what they was trying to say. No. Like, dude, I would say do English geometry. But the first, well, it depends. There's different forms. There's a 7, a 9, and a 10. But usually if you do 10, they do like 9, then 11, 22, and 33. But take the first letters. Like, what I would really say, if you really want to get into it, is do the whole alphabet. All 26 letters, and go 13 on one side, 13 on another side. I'm telling you. Because if you're working with English, that'll be more effective than trying to use Jewish geometry in English. Yeah. You'll wreak havoc, and I'm here for it. Hell yeah, bro. I'm here to rain on niggas' parade. Niggas out here with their weak-ass little parade. Nah, sir. Get this storm. I'm being a dick, man. Okay, yeah, I do use English. I've had dreams of phrases and words before I knew what they were in the waking world. It depends on what you mean, It's like your personality, yeah. Like, the personality is the deity that comes to this mother. It's like, in the pantheon that is you, it's the deity that suffers ignorance, that must go through the trials. It's Hercules, it's Jesus. It's the one that suffers ignorance and must go through the trials. Yeah, it's going to be ignorant. But what is you? Because that's not you. You got to pull it back, man. I'm telling you. You got to go all the way back. All right. This is what I'm going to do right now, guys. We're going to get masculine in this motherfucker. Monstrously masculine, to be exact. I want to talk about these principles, man. Because I have three types of segments I usually do when it comes to masculinity. Lingam time. Because all this shit's been feminized. And I hate to even be that facetious and just go, all things have been feminized. But so much of this shit is about vaginas, and it just gets on my goddamn nerves. Like, motherfuckers don't get. They don't even get what dick is. You're running so fast from Jesus. Oh my God, Jesus was male. They're masculine things up there. Oh my God. Nigga think they got the answer, ain't gonna answer the question. These motherfuckers conflate everything to the feminine. Anyways, I'm talking about masculinity in terms of the corporeal life, okay? And so I want to get into this. I have masculine medicine, managing misandry, and method to the madness. Masculine medicine is the first one. It is most certainly for males. Medicine. You got to take your medicine. Is it possible to fully get rid of the personality since we are here for a while, or like Adam Kadmon, we stand on the personality, rise above it? No, it is not. You don't get rid of it. You don't get rid of the personality or the shadow. They're part of the body. They're part of the body. You can switch that personality up like software. Remember, body, hardware, personality, software. This is the computer. It's not you, though. It's not like I'm sitting here dealing with the hardware and the software for this shit. It's not me. It's not. I'm working through it. All right. So yeah, you can most certainly switch that personality up, and that's part of the work you want to do. As you shrink the shadow, because you don't get rid of the shadow. It's like you don't get rid of the fucking ego, assholes. As you shrink the shadow, it changes your view on the personality. Your personality is a deity. It's a non-physical thing. It's not something physical. It's not. But see, this is what I'm talking about. You got to get into working with these things. You got to be able to let it go for a moment so that you can see it. It's like you hanging on to the side of the ship. I'm like, jump in the water, bro. Just help me while I still hold on. No, you got to jump in first. You got to jump in. You got to let that shit go and jump in. I'm telling you. I'm not saying get rid of the body or the personality. You're not going to be able to. You're not. What you have to do is be able to see beyond it. And you cannot see beyond it while holding on to it. So that's the biggest thing. Because look, really down the line of the self-defecation stuff, I'll talk to you about you're going to have to go back and recondition and reshape that personality. It's inevitable to function here properly. You're going to need a personality. But it's not what you are. To function on the expressway, you need a car. You need a car. You need a car to function on the expressway. It doesn't mean you have to be the car. So, I mean, the devil's in the details. Anyway, we're going to get into this masculinity real quick, man. We're going to get into this masculinity real quick. Like I always say, man, hey, this shit's here for the dudes, bro. You got to let them know. Got to let them know. Which one? Where is it? Okay, it's right here. All right, y'all. Check it out. So will our bodies evolve into like a body of Christ once physical purpose is done? Your body's shit. It's flesh. The brain, DNA, all of that's flesh. It's flesh. It's dirt. It's like saying once I log out of the video game, does the video game character evolve into something? No, it doesn't. Let this go. Leave it behind. The body is shit. All this god body garbage is trash. It's rubbish, mate. It's fucking rubbish, mate. All right, anyways, we into this. We into this shit. When it comes to masculine medicine, I have 3 principles. Each of these 3 has both a theory and a practice side. I want to review all 3 of these in one segment. So, to begin, I'll ask this question. What are the 3 principles of masculine medicine? The theory side to the first principle is this. Be willing to take an L. This isn't a tool for optimism in the face of adversity. Rather, to be availed the possibility of winning, you must also open yourself up to the possibility of losing. Part of what it takes to rise to the occasion of masculinity is the acceptance and surrender to the inevitable burden of performance. Like with any performance of any worth, there exists the possibility of failure. Said differently, if you want to be able to win, you have to be able to lose. Part of being a man is going to be constant rejection. Women and children are most times provided an illusionary world to live in. As men, we have no such world and must face existence on a one-to-one basis. This isn't a complaint. Things like this are not a bug in the system, but rather a feature of it. The practice side to the first principle is this. Play to win. The losses will come regardless. A true victory must be taken. That's why a game has rules. Each side agrees to them. Each side comes and competes their hardest. And then who gets the victory is the one that takes it. Your victory would mean nothing if it was given to you. You can't play a game and win if all you focus on is not losing. The only place this is effective is in a game where you can get a default win. Participation trophies. In that scenario, you do not take the win you want, which is actually winning. Instead, you leave yourself to the hope that a suitable win will eventually be given to you. You will not find the state of victory in avoiding losses. The first letter in the word lesson is L. So if you're getting a lesson, you're gonna have to take an L. The theory side of the second principle is this: we are not equal. Two things that are similar are not the same. Men and women share many similarities in certain respects. That almost goes without saying. What doesn't go without saying is the fact that where we differ very much and in very specific ways. Men and women are not the same. I know this argument has been allowed to be subsidized by corporate and state interests, and that the order of the day is to feel over what's real. I get it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but what you are not personally entitled to is your own facts. That is called delusion. Yes, there are similarities between men and women, but when we take a myopic view on the similarities to the extreme, we miss the defining factors that make each side unique in its own right. For males, this kind of faulty premises, more often than not, leads us to expect women to think and be held to the equal standards of men, which will cause us to expect from women things that they cannot and will not give or be for us. Our own expectations frame the responses that we give to the world. Expecting males and females to be the same will eventually lead you to ruin. The practice side of the second principle is this: it's never her fault. Women are the children of the adult world. Now, that is not to say that women are children, because if I wanted to say that women are children, I would do like I just did twice and say that women are children. What I said and am saying is that women are the children of the adult world. In order to be the leader of your life, let alone a family or even a relationship, you will need to rise above needing the other to be at fault. This is not to suggest that no one else possesses agency nor has the capacity to be culpable. Rather, that to effectively lead, you have to be able and willing to rise above the team to fill the shoes of a captain. If you are the leader, your followers' mistakes are your mistakes. If you are the boss, your employees' mistakes are a reflection of your lack of direction and guidance. Not to say you are infallible, but that if you are to take up the authority to lead, then along with that comes the responsibility for the outcomes. Now, on to the third and final principle, the theory side of which is this: that this is your life. Not only are you the only one who has to live the life that you set out for yourself, but in the game of relationships, your life as a male is what you're bartering. When it comes to relationships, what women barter is an opportunity to have a place in and or with her body, even if that place is potentially quite temporary. As a male, what you barter is the potential for a permanent place in your life, if not your life itself in her service. Many males have already fucked around and found out. Living imprisoned in emotionless and sexless marriages, or having their marriages destroyed and their assets seized. Even men who don't take the route of marriage will quite often find the fruits of their life's work, with the help of the state, seized from them and funneled to a woman in a very permanent and consistent manner. This is not to say that the same never happens to women. This is to say, however, that the trend is weighed heavily in one direction. The practice side to the third principle is this: be righteously honest. In order to effectively do the right thing, that right thing is that which is right for you. You're going to need to be righteously honest. To be righteous is to be without guilt and in line with what is right. Being righteous becomes a much simpler task when your foundations are set upon honesty. A lie has to be cultivated in and of itself before it can be effective at being a foundation. Even still, a lie can at any time be defeated, more especially by the correct form of truth. All that being said, a lie is shoddy foundation for your capacity to be righteous, and you need to be able to be righteous. The unrelenting critique of your performance as a male will require you to be your own center of steadfast stability, not to mention your own center of force and effect to propel yourself forward. The center you will need to hold and maintain your frame. You want to build that on a foundation of honesty. That way, your righteousness will be consistently sound. As you may have noticed, each of the three principles does not possess its own individual phrasing. Rather, each has a theory and a practice side. Now, the interconnected nature of these two separate sides is most certainly not to be overlooked. Too much theory will starve you for practice. And practice without a refined theory is basically proactive blind faith. Without a clear understanding of your own theory, your practices will be hollow and amount to nothing more than simply copying someone else. My aim is not necessarily to provide you rules for life, but more so an option on how you can think about the scenario that contemporary men now find themselves in. In conclusion, and to wrap this up, I'll say this to remind you of why this is medicine and what difference that makes. When taking medicine, you're taking it to heal yourself, and not so that you can take it while someone else takes theirs. That being said, the places where women do the same thing or don't do enough is of no concern to you and healing your own ailments, more especially whichever ailment's in question. Masculine medicine is for men to heal themselves and not to become even or equal with women. Smooth. Well, just chilling, listening to the beat, man. All right, I'm about to talk about the segment. Before I do, this is irking me. I gotta say something. All right, look. The point of existence isn't physical life. Physical life is the shit. It's the residue. It's the lowest point of the thing that is the highest. Like that burp. Like, after I burped, I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a fuck about the air or the particle. It's divine. Oh my God, I gotta catch the divine. No, it's shit. Yeah, it's divine, but it's still shit. The whole physical world is shit. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying it has no benefits, but it's not the point. All right? Donovan, he said eternal sleep or another adventure in an endless illusion. The non-physical world is equally as illusionary as the physical world. All right? Both of which are flat in comparison to the perpendicular uprightness of the primordial of the metaverse. So yeah, another endless illusion, unless, of course, you go back to rebuilding the kingdom and do your father's work. You have to become, you got to stand back the fuck up, is basically what it is. It's the coming down and the going back up. And it's not to say it in some type of objective sense. All right? It's not in some objective sense. All right? Like think about it like this. Like, start from this place, okay? Your body's going to die. You're going to die alone, naked in a gutter somewhere with a crack needle in your left buttock, cocaine on your nose, and 4 bitches taking a picture for Instagram. Let it go. Let it go. It wasn't you to begin with. It wasn't you to begin with. I'm not saying completely disregard it. Do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But you can't be caught up in its outcomes. This place is perfect. Why? Because this is a place where anything can happen. If we live in a place where anything can happen, and if everything that could have fucking happened, what's happening right now is happening. You can't say it shouldn't have happened. It's supposed to happen, which is why it does. This place is perfect. you only continue adventuring so far as you set yourself up for success in that respect. What do I mean by that? What is you? If you're not the body, you're not the personality, your body is gone. What are you still left agreeing to? For most people, it's just going to be some convoluted version of either the personality glorified, or it's the spooky infinite oneness that you can't actually identify with. So that the latter of the two, the spooky infinite oneness, that's right hand path. You dissolve yourself again. The personality glorified, the personality isn't going to exist properly without the body, and so that's continuing in another illusion. You've got to get back to the thing that you are outside of that, and then that, which is the light of your awareness. Mind you, that's where it starts. That's the essential part. And turn that light of awareness back on itself. You have to turn that back on itself, and that's where you're going to start rebuilding the kingdom. That's where you start rebuilding the kingdom. All right, it's you fall off of the tree branch, you become a tree in and of itself, of your own self, in your own right. And this place wouldn't be too bad if some of us motherfuckers could fly off the ground. Why the fuck you need to fly? Get in the airplane. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There's a death meditation where you remember that you've been borrowing your body, but it was never yours. Yeah, this shit's on loan. This shit's on loan. This isn't you. This isn't you. It isn't you. Damn, that sounded like my weekend. What? Death meditation, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I get that feeling a lot being high. DMT really shows you it. Ringing in your ears, then boom. Hey, man, look. I'm telling you, lean into the self-deification, bro. Because it's about what is you? What is yourself? What are you agreeing that means? And if it's spooky infinite oneness, that's not something you can identify as. It's not. All right? And if it's glorified personality, that's just agreeing more to the physical world in a glorified sense. You've got to reconstruct it. You've got to see where it starts and then rebuild the kingdom. Be about your father's work. All right, look. Let me get into this masculine medicine real quick, all right? Let me get into the masculine medicine. Like I said in the segment, as far as masculine medicine is concerned, two things I want to point out really quick that need to be understood. First of all, in terms of medicine, you do not take medicine so that you can make sure someone else is taking their medicine at the same time. But women do. But don't women. Women are like, I know, I get it. I'm not even going to lie to you. I probably agree with you. Most certainly. But the medicine isn't to heal both of us. It's not for me to take it and then you to be healed too. Oh, you gotta take your medicine while I take mine, or else I'm not taking it. No. The point of medicine is to heal yourself. Okay? So I'm not saying motherfuckers don't have any culpability or any agency. They most certainly do. Even though they like to downplay the agency that they have. Okay? I'm saying that in order for you to be better, you have to take medicine for yourself. And I guarantee you, bro, look, they not going to lead us out of this motherfucker. It's got to be us, and we have to heal before them. Because they're not even gonna feel safe enough to start healing until it's like motherfuckers who ask for immunity when they're testifying in court. It's like, I'm not saying nothing unless I get full immunity. That's women. That's women. They're not telling you nothing. They're not doing nothing. They're not doing the truth. They're not doing anything until they feel safe. And feeling safe and being safe are not the same thing. Feeling safe and being safe are not the same thing. They go based on what they want to feel, okay? But as males, working from a masculine mentality, because a lot of motherfuckers out here feminized as fuck, and you got to check yourself if that's you, which is why I start with medicine. And when I get into managing misandry, it's not going to be so much of what women need to be doing, because fuck women. It's about, I'm talking to dudes, lingam time. It's about dudes. We ain't feminizing this. Women going to do whatever they're going to do. What do you need to be doing? That's what I'm talking about. We'll talk about the natures of women, but mostly I'm talking about the nature of women to make sure you ain't doing girly shit. I get it. I've been there too. I'm still vomiting up shit. I'm telling you. I'm not trying to look at you from some holier than thou place at the top of a mountain. No, most certainly not. Masculine medicine is for you to heal yourself, guys. All right. Fuck whatever women are doing. I don't know. Like when I'm talking this masculine shit, I don't even discuss it with women because why? What's the point? I just answered the question with a question, which is wrong. The reason I don't is because I'll say it how I say it. Women aren't born in honesty. Okay, they've never needed to be honest. This is why they got to get full immunity, because it's terrifying to be honest. Part of the medicine, you're gonna have to start being honest, bro. You can't be in that little, well, I gotta make sure it's safe before I'm real about shit. No, we do not get an illusionary world. Like I said in the video, women are the children of the adult world. That does not mean that women are children. If I wanted to say that women are children, I would just do like I did twice and say women are children. That's not what I'm saying. Women are the children of the adult world. We give children an illusionary world to live in. Don't do that to children. There's a baby in the house. Did you see what he said? He just said that in front of a child. Oh my God. You're a kid still. You don't need to be in here for this. It's an illusionary world. And we do it for the benefit of their development. Okay? Most certainly. Those who don't get it, develop incorrectly. All right? We give children an illusionary world to live in. We also give one to women. As men, you don't get one. And that's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. This is how it works. But see, the feminized males who are with the woman for too long, they're expecting to still be in the comfort of that. And then they look at the world and they don't get it. And they're like, oh my God, this should be this should be that. And they become entitled little bitches. And you have to find the part of you that's being an entitled little bitch. That way you can overcome it. Because if you just said, oh, I'm not an entitled little bitch, not at all, not me, you're going to be full of bitch assness and the shadowy parts of you. I'm telling you. Find it and get it out. That's why I'm going to be talking about managing misandry. But for now, masculine medicine, okay? And this is the other thing about the principles. There are 3 principles in total, but the principles do not have their own verbiage. Rather, I broke them into a practice and a theory side. So if you're talking about the principle, you need both sides to do it right. Okay? You need the practice and the theory side to do it right. First one, be willing to take an L is the theory side. The practice side is play to win. So, in theory side, the mindset is make sure you're willing to take an L. Make sure when you're playing a game, you're open to the possibility of losing. Otherwise, you've closed yourself off to the possibility of winning. Okay? That's the theory side. That's the mentality. The practice side, how to act on it. Play to win. Play to win. So you have to have both sides, okay? So that's the principle. Be willing to take an L and play to win. Okay? You need both of them together. That's number one. That's the first one. Yeah, man, really, play to win. Don't play trying to avoid losses. Risk the loss. Risk the loss. Women don't like to risk rejection. If you're around here with your dick and balls not wanting to risk rejection, you're feminine. This is why you need the medicine. This is why you need the medicine. Let the girls do that. Let the girls and the kids do that. Not you. And don't do it so that you can be something for women. Do it so you can be something for you. Fuck you mean. Fuck the bitches, man. Do it for you. Lingam time, bruh. Lingam time. Second principle. We are not equal. It's never her fault. Theory side. We are not equal. I give you the maxim of law. 2 things that are similar are not the same. We settled this with Jim Crow, guys. It shouldn't be this difficult. Separate but equal. No. 2 things that are similar are not the same. You cannot have separate and equal. Okay? Men and women are not equal. We have similarities, most certainly. But the places where we are not similar, we are very different in specific ways, okay? Travis said, I gotta have it like this. It's not sugar-coated. Hell yeah. It can't be sugar-coated, bro. No illusionary sweetness on this shit. See, that goes back to the feminine. Nah. Bran muffin. No icing. And it's dry. Eat. A bread muffin. Hell no. No, it ain't no cupcake. I love it. I love it. All right, look. The theory side. We are not equal, okay? So you're going to stop the whole feminist talking point of men and women are equal. We're essentially... No, we're not. We're not. We're not. And you've got to get it out of yourself. Here's the practice side. Here's why I will say to practice for your own benefit, for your own health. It's never her fault. Whenever you can, rise above women. I don't give a damn what she did, or what reactionary shit she did. All right, what emotional reactionary shit she did. You shouldn't be doing no emotional reactionary shit. If you do, catch yourself. I get it. We all messed up. Raised by women. I get it. But you can't be doing it. And one way to help you in the practice, I don't care what she did. Take the blame. Take the blame. I'm not saying that to say that women possess no culpability or possess no agency. If you raise a child like that, you spoil the fuck out of it. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if your kid goes to somebody's house and does some I ain't got no home training ass shit, and it's your kid, then yeah, it's your motherfucking fault. See, this is the thing. I'm not saying, because we're especially getting this in the with black folks, man. We especially getting this where you got the women out here doing whatever the fuck they want to, and then on one side you got I can do whatever I want. Another side is if you taking the lead, then it's still your fault. Like no, chill out. Watch this, okay? Because I want you to keep this in mind. I guess it's an addendum for the second principle. Responsibility without authority is slavery. Okay? It's just easy to say, black man, you're responsible for this, you're responsible for that. Okay, where's my authority? If I can't tell you to sit down, shut up, and stop doing that, then I'm not taking your responsibility. So if you don't have the authority, don't take the responsibility. But if you're going to get the authority, the responsibility is yours. Okay? It's real easy. Responsibility and authority go hand in hand. If you're taking on all this responsibility but have no authority, you're a slave. Period. Kunta! Where the fuck the horse is at? The driver and me are waiting. I'm gonna be late to goddamn Master Smith's house. God damn it, Kunta, where are the horses? Those are your responsibility. No authority. He's a bitch. And you wonder why a man who puts himself in that position is no longer gonna get respect from his wife or his family. Because he's made himself into a bitch, thinking that was his duty, to take on responsibility with no authority. Most certainly not. Most certainly fucking not. What's the movie? The Bodyguard, Whitney Houston. Man trying to watch over her. I'm gonna do what I want. Da-da-da. No. I cannot take care of you if you're not gonna listen to me. Like, that's why you teach a dog to respond to its name immediately. Because if that motherfucker's over there doing something ridiculous, I needed to come over here when it's a car coming. Hey, Fido! Looks up and comes. Now, if you don't do that, and the motherfucker look up and decide to run away, he's gonna get hit by a car. And not because the dog should have known better. No. Who's in charge? Simple shit. We are not equal, and it's never her fault. All right? Theory and the practice side. That's principle number 2. KTB says divine masculinity is needed. Otherwise, there's no order or purpose or direction to focus. Exactly. Look, in terms of the spiritual side of this, once again, you don't necessarily have to conflate the two, because you can do the masculinity shit, all physical stuff. All right. Male is the reservoir for the masculine. Female is the reservoir for the feminine. So they're not exclusive to each other. Male and female contain both. Masculine and feminine define each other. Okay, so masculine and feminine, they define each other. Male and female contain one another. Even though male is the reservoir for the masculine, it's going to contain some of the feminine. Even though the female is the reservoir for the feminine, it's going to contain some of the masculine. But the masculine and the feminine in and of themselves define one another. Okay, really simple. See, the feminine is the raw force. It's the power. But the masculine is the direction and focus of that power. It's the guidance. And the product of those two is the divine child. See, a lot of times motherfuckers want to conflate the masculine to simply the child. But you know who does that? The feminine shit. The feminized shit. Why? Because that's the jurisdiction of the feminine, is the child. Well, you know, your mama is like this. You better say it about women. You know we give birth to you, not unless I come through with that lingam. Otherwise, you just bleed everywhere. Fuck out of here. Lingam time. Don't forget what the fuck you come with. Otherwise, you're going to be that bitch-ass motherfucker, kunta-ass nigga, going out there getting some goddamn horses with no authority. No, sir. Third principle. Third principle. Once again, theory and practice side. Ghost Sean Lamar. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Better late than never. Third principle, man. Third principle. This is your life. That's the theory side. That's the mentality. Keep that in mind. The practice side is be righteously honest. Here, look. This is what's at stake here. Your fucking life. This is what's at stake. See, look, let's say you win the double, triple lotto tomorrow. You got the double and the triple. Boy, you got so much money, you don't know what to do with it. And now the bitch is coming out of the woodwork. Oh, look at him. Back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, y'all on me, head ass. Okay, it's true. Not a bug in the system, it's a feature. I get it. But now they all on you. Now they all on you. Now everybody want a piece of it, right? What do they want a piece of? A place in your life. A place in your life. Don't nobody want, ain't nobody like the way you get wanted for having a lot of money is the way women are wanted for having a vagina. That's what's at stake here, is a place in your life. A place in your life, be able to be part of what you have. It's a lifestyle, that's the word I'm looking for. A lifestyle, okay? And unless you build a lifestyle for yourself, you're not gonna be able to share it with nobody else. All right? And once again, women are feeling creatures. So it's not even necessarily about having it sometimes. It's about generating the feeling of having it more so than anything. All right, more so than anything, it's about generating the feeling of having it. But this is what's at stake here, guys, is your life, period. Donovan says, you think the divine child is a mixture of the divine feminine and masculine, something similar to androgyny, like you find a way to harmonize them both. Yes, it's the androgyny. The divine child is the precursor to androgyny. I would say male and female themselves is androgynous, but once again, we're talking about the non-physical versus physical. Masculine and feminine combine to make the child. Now, the triple blackness of space is not androgynous. It's unexpressed, it's potential, it's unactualized. So for androgyny, you have to have masculine and feminine mixed. But if masculine and feminine have not yet expressed, you can't mix them. So the triple blackness of space isn't androgynous. All right? The zero, the infinite potential unexpressed, is not androgynous. What's androgynous is the result of the union of divine masculine and divine feminine. That's what's going to give you androgyny, okay? Not balance, harmonize. Balance is a result of harmony, I would say. Balance is a result of harmony. But I mean, it's fuck the balance, man. Like I said, the work's already done. Shit's already been done. It's already set up. It's already perfect. Only thing you gotta get solved is your own mentality and agreements to this shit, man. I love steak. Truth. I'm always late shaking my head. Well, I love steak. Hey man, enjoy the steak. I'm not sure. Look, I'll say this too. I don't like to serve red meat. If you're familiar with the idea of the red pill community, I don't like to serve red meat. I know you need to have a little sizzle in the steak. Like, look, man, I'm not here trying to look brand muffins. That's what I got for niggas, bro. Brand muffins. I'm not gonna show you a bunch of women being held accountable. I don't think you should even hold women accountable. It's just ridiculous. Accountable to what? Accountable to what? Women aren't born in honesty. They don't have to be honest. They don't have to be honest. They have to learn that shit from us. You gotta be honest. Practice side of the third principle. Be righteously honest. Why? Because a lie is a shoddy foundation for your righteousness. You ever caught somebody in a lie and they was being righteous as hell? They was talking all outside of their neck, and then you point out the lie. And now they got to bring all that shit back down. And it just crumbles. That's not what you want. The world is going to be unrelenting, not only in the fact that males have a burden of performance. Men must become women already are. Men must become women already are. Okay? She shows up, she has the vagina. In terms of what we are looking for, she's already basically got most of it. In terms of what they're looking for from a male, most of that stuff has to develop, has to be grown. You know, that's why the drug dealers get all the bitches, because he's young and he's got the money of a 50-year-old. Like, a man, you just got to go through all them years, develop and build something to have that kind of money. And the things they want from us are a result of competency and development. Okay? It's performance. You're not going to avoid it. You're not going to avoid it. It's the premises here, okay? This is your life. You have to cultivate these things in your life. And the world is going to be unrelenting in coming against you, as it should be. As it should be. She's not looking for the logic about why she's going to be with you. They're feeling creatures. If a bunch of other dudes want to be you, if other girls want to fuck you, the feeling that generates is that, hey, that guy is valuable. She's not looking at your accounting balance yet. Unless she does numbers, she don't worry about the numbers. She's not worried about the logic of the shit. It's the feeling that's generated, okay? That's what it is. They're emotion-centric creatures. I'm going to have a segment on the shit next week. You don't move from that place. Ration-centric. Be righteously honest. You're going to need to be righteous to sustain your own center. But you need to have a foundation of being honest, because a lie is shoddy foundation. And then you're going to have everything you built crumble because you was too busy lying to yourself in the beginning about shit. That's what they do. They get to be all the cap. They get to have all the cap. Let them have the cap. You don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. Because look, they have to go through this shit, man. I'm telling you, women peak early and fast. Men peak late, but for considerably longer. For considerably longer. All right? It's evolutionary shit. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature, okay? So triple blackness could be feminine or masculine if it wanted to. It's neither. It's the precursor to both. It's neither. It's not about a wanting to. It's neither of them. It's the precursor to both. You can even say it's the combination of the two, but say, once again, like I said, with androgyny, to combine them, they have to exist. They have to have been expressed. So because they haven't expressed, I just say they're precursor to them. But it's not a combination of them, okay? It's not either or. The triple blackness of space, the Great Mother, is feminine only in name. Only in name. Like completely feminine and masculine. No. Enroll today. Hell yeah, man. I'm on a roll. I'm at 2.5 hours, bro. Almost 3 hours in this motherfucker, man. Hell no. Would empathy be a masculine trait then? But somehow nurturing is a feminine trait. It's bizarre. Like we have missing components of each other. In terms of male and female, yes, we have missing components of each other. In terms of masculine and feminine, they define one another. I would say empathy can be a masculine trait if it's in comparison to sympathy. All right? Like, the feminine will usually deal in sympathy, man. Don't be out here looking for sympathy. Don't be out here looking for sympathy, man. It's not what you want. You're not going to look good. You're not going to look good. Out here, look like dudes be dropping little thirst traps for sympathy. Like drop somewhere, like, okay, this is what I always hate motherfuckers do. Like, motherfucker will be sitting there chilling, right? Quiet as hell. All of a sudden, that's interesting. So what, you want me to say what's interesting? Why don't you just say what's interesting? Why don't you just say what's interesting? Why are you going to leave me that little trap? See, that's feminine passive-aggressive. Feminine and passive-aggressive. That's interesting. No, nigga, we was quiet. You going to break the silence for what? What's interesting? Now I got to say something. What's interesting? It's a verbal trap. Passive-aggressive. I hate that shit. Motherfuckers be dropping a little shit just to get a response. Like, chill. Say what you got to say and shut the fuck up. The passive-aggressive stuff, the little stuff we've picked up from all the women you've been raised in. You know, like, motherfuckers been raised by all women talking about tap into your feminine. No, sir. No, sir. You need to explore some masculine. You need to have the idea of it. When people think masculine, they always think the tyrannical father. They only think the benevolent mother when they think feminine. No, there's a tyrannical mother and a benevolent father as well. See, these archetypes, they define one another. Divine masculine and divine feminine define one another. Motherfuckers acting like, oh, it's spiritual, it's feminine. Like every time motherfuckers want to make some shit elite and spiritual, they say, oh, this is feminine, this is the feminine, it's the feminine, it's feminine, it's feminine. This is why the highest realms have almost exclusively males. Because males are central beings, not like the feminine is moved through. It's atmosphere. Okay? It's the thing you're in. Just like the child is in it. The thing that does the moving is the masculine. It's central point. It's focused. All right? It's more refined aspect. That's where you're going to have the masculine up high and the feminine down low. Like all this stuff down here, physical earth stuff, all these different goddesses. It's not because white patriarchy. Like motherfuckers is running from white Jesus so fast. They just miss all of this shit. But the womb, without that lingam, it's gonna bleed. That's it. I don't want to hear about the womb. Talking about fucking 3 different cosmic wombs. Get the hell out of here, man. Melanin in space. I can't stand niggas. Look. We gotta drop the feminine stuff, man. But the womb. Everything on the planet comes through a vagina. Yeah. Unless you're just making a straight copy of the same thing you had, it's coming with a lingam. A lingam gonna determine whether or not it gets to do that at all. You gotta get in here, man. You gotta get in here. Look, try not just melanin in space. Outer space is melanin. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, look. Back to masculine medicine, guys. Once again, you get the theory and the practice side. You have the mentality you need to hold and the actions or the direction you want to take, okay? So those are how the 3 principles go. First principle, willing to take an L and play to win. Second principle, we are not equal and it's never her fault. Third principle, this is your life and be righteously honest. Okay? That's masculine medicine. Most of the clips I've done so far, the segments I've done with masculinity has been masculine medicine. I don't really care to tell women what they need to be doing. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. You fix the kings, the queens will be fine. You fix the kings, the queens will be fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You ain't gonna listen to me no way. I don't even want the problems so you listen to me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I ain't trying to take care of nobody else's bitch. I'm serious. Look, if you have your girl coming to me like, hey man, watch Eric. So you hear what he's saying, right? Yeah. She gonna end up liking me. Don't do that. You learn it. You learn it and you teach her. That way she likes you. She wants you to teach her. She wants you to teach her. She don't want to have to be going out here. She want to find all that stuff in you. It's easier. But you got to rise to the occasion. Men must become. Women already are. Women already are. Nature initiates them. And Donovan says, I'd say that both femme and masculine aren't above each other. I'm getting at an infinite binary code of 1s and 0s, basically. Not 1s and 0, 1 and 2. That's what I'm saying. Neither is above each other. They define one another. Well, one can be above the other in the sense that to have an above, you have to have a below. But they define one another. You can flip them back and forth if you want. Masculine, that's the thing to take away. Masculine and feminine define one another. They define one another. Male and female contain one another. Like when I'm using words, I'm not just trying to have fancy sound. It's not just fancy sound. These words have a meaning. Like motherfuckers, when I say motherfuckers don't get English, they don't get that they don't get English. Like I am not, I can't stress that enough. I can't stress it enough. I'm telling you, I'm not just making fancy sounds. Masculine and feminine define one another. Male and female contain one another. Male is the reservoir for the masculine. Female is the reservoir for the feminine. I'm not just saying words. I'm not just saying words. I'm telling you, I get in the age of pontification that motherfuckers will just say words. I get it. They'll say whatever word feels nice and they go off of emotions. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Motherfucker, if you didn't say it, I don't feel it. Fuck out of here. Be impeccable with your goddamn word. It's all you got. This is your life that's at stake. I'm telling you. You gotta get the details of this shit. I'm telling you. Ain't nobody coming to help. Men do not get an illusionary world. When I say women are the children of the adult world, the emphasis is that they get an illusionary world. What do I mean by that? If somebody walk in here right now and start whooping my ass, what you gonna say? Man, you gonna let that nigga whoop your ass like that? Bro, that couldn't have been me. If I was a woman and somebody came in here right now whooping my ass, somebody call the police. Somebody help her real quick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why? Why? I'm not saying that to complain. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. It's a feature of the fact that they get an illusionary world. Respect women. What do you mean? Isn't respect earned? So I respect all women? Did you earn it? What did you do to earn it? Oh, you showed up. What she means is courtesy. But it's emotional. It's emotional. It feels good to think that that's respect. It's courtesy. Respect is earned. How do you know? She's not going to respect you until you earn it. It's easy shit. It's simple shit. They don't know what they want. They know what they want to feel. Don't get caught up in the things they say. Like, that's like precursor shit. First thing to do to start getting in here, to start purging out some of that old shit, stop listening to women. Stop listening to women. Stop. Don't care what they say. It's cap. It's cap. It's how they feel. It's not something they thought about, even if they say this is what I think. It's not something they thought about. Because they never have to. They never have to. They can say whatever they want to. Dude gonna sit there, yeah, that's good. So we're gonna get this thing real quick, maybe. No one stops and corrects them. No one ever has the authority to. You ain't my daddy. Nigga, you ain't listen to your daddy anyways. Fuck out of here. You ain't Jesus, bitch. You ain't listening to Jesus. Fuck out of here. No. Stop listening to women for a while. It'll help you. Because I'm telling you, we've been raised by all women. And so we don't know how to check, how to call the bullshit. We don't know how to call the bullshit. Mostly, all this self-hate, man. Dudes don't even like dudes. I get it. I used to be one. I get it. I was like, because I didn't get how to be a dude. I didn't get it until I got it. You can't be a dude who's like, oh, I don't like other guys, man. They're always trying to compete. What are you worried about competing for? Because you're going to lose? Scared to lose, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. When they always compete with each other, man. Why is somebody always got to be better than the other? Why can't we just work together? Women are communal. Women are communal. They're all equal. They're all the same. They're the fucking same. Look at them. They do the same shit. If one of them does the busted challenge, they all want to do the busted challenge. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. One of them starts dancing on the pole. Oh, this is okay now? Everyone's doing it. Get the fuck out of here. They're the same. But that's the thing. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. Women replicate. The masculine is the archetype of perfection. The feminine is the archetype that replicates that perfection. The child is the perfection replicated. I'll say it again. The masculine is the archetype of perfection. It's that one. It's the all. The feminine is the archetype that replicates that perfection. This is the illusionary part. The child is that perfection replicated. This is the Christ, the only begotten Son. To beget is a masculine term. It's the only begotten Son. When you say to beget, you're implying that the one is masculine. I'm telling you. You can't. This is why I say we're not equal, because you have to get out of the place where you're thinking about women as if they act like us, as if they do what we do, as if they think like we do. They don't. They don't. And it's not because they're supposed to. It's not because you got to get them to be more rationally logical, because there's a logic to emotion. There's a logic to emotion. I hate it. It's so disgusting when I taste it. I'm just like, oh my God, why am I here? This is awful. But it is what it is. Like, they say the same shit about the way we think. So it's not that it's wrong or it's a bug in the system. I'm telling you, it's different. It's different, and you, as a male, you're the one who needs to be able to get it. We give everything on the front end. Like, you know, like, let's say you out here, once again, trying to get in a relationship, right? You got to give all the shit on the front end. Hey, I got this kind of job, make money like this, I live here, I do these kind of things in my life. You don't give a damn if she does any of those things. She can be the top doctor in the country, or the bitch that works at the Circle K. What's that thing between your legs? You got that thing? We can do that? She got to build from there. She got to worry about rejection on the back end. You worry about rejection on the front end. That's why we come with all the good shit, all the nice shit, all the fancy stuff. And that's why she gonna fall in love first, because we show all the good shit. Look, they even got the thing with women, don't show them you're crazy until you're married. Look, assume they all crazy. Just assume it. Just assume it. Like, bro, like, when I used to work in customer service, I would always assume that everyone who walked through the door is going to be a piece of shit. That's because when they walk through the door and they're a piece of shit, I'm not treating it like they're not supposed to do it. But when they walk through and they're not a piece of shit, I can value it. I can value it. I can take it like, hey, this is actually something rare, and I can cherish it, as opposed to disregarding it because I'm acting like it's the bare minimum. It's not. They have the money. They have the money. And look, while they're young and they're valuable, yeah, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want to. What kept them in line in the old days? Shame, guilt. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. They judge you though. I'm telling you, it's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. We are not equal. There's detail to this, and they're not gonna be able to tell you. They're not gonna be able to tell you. Girls just want to have fun. She wants to ride the roller coaster, not discuss how it works. And if she has to get into a conversation with you about how it works, she probably don't want to ride it with you. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Society Eject says, yep, that's why most of them always say this is how I feel. Misha said that's I say it all the time. It's how I feel. Because look, that's what's going to determine whether or not she like you. How she feel about you. How she feel. It's not going to be the logical spreadsheet. Like, that's why gamma males get upset. Because they're like, they have all the logical reasons why a woman should like them. And that makes them even more disgusted. Because it's like, she's going to feel like you're trying to deceive her. If her feelings aren't telling her it, it's going to be difficult for her to trust it. I'll say it like that. It's like trying to trust that something exists and you can't see, hear, or touch it. You can smell it, and that's it. Now imagine there's something you can only smell for a second. You couldn't see, hear it, or touch it. You'd be hard-pressed to determine whether or not you're just imagining it. Their primary sense is their emotions, their feelings. Like I said, women know what they want to feel, not what they want. They'll conflate the two to the language. I'm telling you, it's very different. She knows how she wants to feel, not what she wants. Okay? I want you to take me to the movies. I want you to give me flowers. I want you to hold my hand. All those is wanting to feel connected, feel valuable. But she can get those things and still want something else. Because the thing she says she wants isn't what she wanted. What she wanted was the feeling she thinks she's going to get from it. Bruh, it's simple when you can let go of the idea that we're the same thing. I'm telling you. That goddess realm be so cool, bruh. Goddesses act like bros, too. Bro, what kind of bros you chilling with, man? Chill out, bruh. Chill out, Donovan. Donovan, don't say that to me. Donovan, don't say that to me. Unless you're talking about Balbo. Balbo, maybe. Balbo, maybe. I did a spotlight on Spirit with Balbo. Like, girls aren't funny. Like, girls aren't funny. And they're always doing this proper, appropriate shit. Like, oh, that's not okay. That's not appropriate. You shouldn't be doing that. Get the fuck out of here. It's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, it's necessary, but it's not fucking fun. Girls, goddess don't act like bros. Chill out, bro. Chill out, bro. Chill out. No, I'm not gonna accept that. I'm not accepting that, Donovan. Same old me. Good to see you in the chat, man. Better late than never, because, bro, you know what? The sky is clearing up. This man came at the end of the storm, bro. The clouds are parting. The sun coming back down. It don't even smell like shit no more. I'm your host, guys. Aries Bookman, the Duke of Darkness, the Father of Monsters, King of the Brood, King of America, Lord of the fucking Underworld. It's about time for me to get going, y'all. I appreciate you let me have my way with your Monday morning. I'll be back next week to do it all over again. Nah, not these girls. Oh, man, look, man, I'm talking about goddesses like when you know it. Not even, what you mean? What you mean, bro? Diamonds, gems, 100. Travis, you trying to send me out of here triggered. Y'all hate me. Niggas hate me. I get it. It's cool, though. I don't mind. I'm the ego. You're supposed to. I get it. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one, man. I'm up out of this motherfucker. I'm enjoying the rest of my fucking day. You got 3 hours of shitstorm. Y'all have a fucking good one.